I'll try to think of how the best way to do them right there is, and we'll get back with you. Ain't no snakes, is there?
I ain't looking.
One day there's gonna be one that's in there looking at me, and I'm gonna squeal and bust my head and probably knock myself out.
Come and lay it on the floor.
Yeah, what happened? Most channels be like, you gotta swiftly torque this to 22, do a round in a circular pattern to make sure it doesn't break the intake. Come back, do 33, let it sit overnight, crank cycle.
There, you're gonna lose viewers by talking.
It's best to shut up.
Yeah.
Starting a video without me.
Let's get this party started. What are we doing?
Okay, so we work on Cherokees, and I cannot emphasize how often 96 to 06, give or take, Pistons, they went to what, hyper pneumatic, is that what they're called?
Hyper pneumatic or something.
It's a word we can't pronounce. It's some form of casting. 95 and older, you never had problems with the Pistons. So I got a website, and I got the bright idea. Justin has a machine shop. And golly, these are still hot. He wasn't kidding.
Yeah, hot off the press.
We actually box these up, sell them. They're on a used rod. They're checked and all that stuff. But I said I wasn't going to cut this video, and it's so hard. We'll make little minor cuts. But we sell these on there. We send them to you, and you pay a core on the rod, and you send your cores back. As long as they're good, you get the core money back. And that's what he keeps getting, people that want this done. But there's so many machine shops that only want to deal with high-end, high-dollar, new stuff. So that's what we said. It sucks. I wish we could build motors and send them out. But me and him are just as busy as we can be. But that's why this video is, I'm doing it. It's going to be like a uncut, step-by-step, every size, every nut, every bolt, every step. So you can do it at home. So let me crank it up. It's not your lifters. Stop. It's not your lifters. I'm working on that video to disprove all those people. There's just no way. I'm afraid to do the video because you got all the people on the Jeep page that's just going to run you in the ground. But this one, well, before we crank it up. See this little brown stuff? All that brown stuff?
And the radiator.
Yep, no water. I'll tell the story of the Jeep here in a minute, but I've got other signs to show you. It's been run hot, and I feel like that's the majority of the Pistons, is they get run hot, they get fatigued, I guess is the word, and so you put a new head on it. Now those Pistons are fatigued. You crank it up, start heat cycles again, they just fall apart. But this one has already decided to fall apart. It's got a burnt valve. Just take a second. I don't know how the audio on camera will do.
Oh, it's coming in.
It's tolerances and stuff that we can't explain, but that's for sure a piston.
Sounds like a lifter though.
I'm working on that video. Don't give up on me on that one. Alright. Not gonna get too hot.
The motor runs and you're just gonna take it apart.
Yeah, did you hear how bad the head gasket was just bubbling?
I heard it.
What was I gonna say? The Pistons have like they'll crank up, they won't make a noise, and usually when tolerances change, they'll start it's like it's slapping the cylinder walls. A rod seems to have more of like a deep thud, and usually a rod, you'll hear it on startup. Won't hear it until you drive, usually around 2,000-3,000 RPMs. Pistons are just weird. That's what, it's crazy. I've showed people before. When we get it apart, we'll check. You know, we explain these are cheap casting. Number one, they'll crack here. Number two, they'll get slack in this wrist pin area right here. So there could be many combinations of noises going on. But now we're going to tear it apart, and every step we're going to do. I think I have to show you how to get the battery. But
no, you gotta show them every step, Dex. That's all.
That's how.
Every instruction thing you read, what is the first step?
Remove the ground of the car and apply the parking brake.
Yep.
Oh. I don't have a Bible handy. Hand on the Bible. I have woke up 8 o'clock in the morning, pulled a vehicle in the shop. What time is it now?
It's 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
We started at 4 o'clock.
Oh. Pulled it in 8 o'clock, pulled it apart, pulled the pistons out, went to town, eat lunch, grab some parts, come back, crunk it up, done by 5 o'clock in the evening. Customer gets it that same day or the next day. This will go on to take a little longer, but just if you're not scared of tackling this job. So, remove the battery. Well, you don't have to remove it, but it just makes it easier. Let's try the thing now. You don't need a lift. It does help, but you don't need it. There. Drain the coolant. Cherokee drains are not fun.
Helps to have small hands.
Yep. We're going to remove the lower radiator hose. So now we need the air box out of the way. Let's grab us. Oh, this is a brand new toolbox. This is the first job I've ever done. These little clamps, if you just kind of reach under, kind of pry up under there, get you some slack. Yep. Pop these off. Show the back one. Pop. This hose should just slide off. Odds are you'll have some rigged up stuff if you gotta use Cherokee. That just pops off. Like this. I got me a table.
We was just talking about this earlier. We was like, this is so weird to us doing, let's just call it an uncut start to finish video. People do it all the time. And
Lots of people. I try not to do it, but like the, what was the video we just did the other day uncut? The Wagoneer.
Yeah, I mean, that was basically uncut.
13 millimeter. Sometimes there's a 15 millimeter. Sometimes that's a 15 millimeter.
People up north is watching this like it doesn't work that easy, Dex.
Yes, you've got rust. Well, we don't, so then we're not dealing with rust. Now we're gonna get this little hose out of the way. You can see at the end I'll show you how I route the hose. Different story. So, fan is just laying here. Normally you'd have two 8 millimeters. This one has a Phillips head.
Is this the first video we're doing that you're not holding the camera or the camera's just stationary in one spot?
It is. I'm hoping it does well. Getting people to click on it may be a different story because it's probably not going to be a 30-minute video. However you prefer to keep up with your nuts and bolts. So now the lower radiator hose, we're just going to take it loose right there. I'll probably let it seep. Honestly, this one, I don't know how much water it has.
I'm gonna say it probably doesn't have a lot of water.
Don't look bad. Try not to make a mess.
Don't look bad as in it looks like clean water. Is that what you're saying?
Really doesn't look like it's bad. When I get here, I want to show you one trick. Telling if you're going to look at the Jeep, see if they're telling the truth. Probably next. If you're trying to drain the antifreeze, this upper hose, you have to crack it. And sometimes, like, you can hear it bubbling, pulling air. So I'm going to go ahead and...
This one having a blown head gasket, it probably isn't even pulling a vacuum on it.
All right, let's get these out of the way. This is, I've never showed process, so I'm going to be struggling. Just pop that one off, pop this one off, don't break them. This thing right here, you see a lot of people just take the 10 millimeters off. Either half-inch wrench, that's probably the easiest if you've never done it, is you can just push it on there and slide it right out there. That one, different story. Yeah. Or you can just use a flathead on the other side.
Or a pair of needle nose. Works about the same. That's what I usually use.
Okay, this is one of Dexter's tricks right here. Pull the vacuum booster off. Take this throttle line or cable, tuck it right there. Now take this, wrap it over, and then tuck it somewhere in there. I do this stuff and I don't even pay attention, so now I'm trying to teach what I do. I think, yeah, this is the other one I usually go with it. So there's that.
Just trying to get everything out of the way.
It just makes it easier down the road. That's that. Kick down cable, it's a bigger size, so come on that side, come on this side, push in, wiggle through. How do you do a hose clamp like that? Oh, it's not even tight, okay. The story with this Jeep, we went and looked at it, and immediately when I seen it, I knew it had been run hot. Crank it up, it was missing. The lady was asking too much for it, so I was like, she'll come down, I know they will. It's usually what happens. Another Dexter trick. Pull it back here around these AC lines, and we'll undo that one. Just trying to tuck them away somehow or another. Stay. This is a 99, 96 through 2001 is going to be really close to the same, but everything should be close enough. So tell me to finish my story. We went and looked at it, and I knew it'd been run hot. I walked away from it. It got sold. Next thing I know, it pops up in Corinth. It's back for sale again. It gets sold again, gets sold again. I'm watching it on Marketplace move around. Finally, the last person that had it, he was in apartments and he had to go. So I got it for my price. Random, I'm jumping around here, is I'm gonna pull all the plug wires off. If yours is coil pack, you probably know what to do. And I promise you, it's easier just to remove the distributor cap and just get them out of the way. Phillips head. I know somebody's watching like, why do you don't have to do that? You don't have to do it. Just like everything I do, I've done 7,000 times. It just, there's a reason I do it. I can't tell you why. It just makes things easier.
Radiator hose is swollen.
See, took 2 seconds. Look at how much room we got now. Everything's out of the way. So step back. Let's do. Let's get this radiator hose out of the way.
If y'all haven't noticed, he's done pretty much everything with hand tools so far. Literally a screwdriver.
Yeah. Now, my buddy did that one time. He said, see how far you can get with a screwdriver. I'm gonna get all the wiring harness, everything. Cruise control, just shove it down there out of the way. Just get it out of your way. Just don't break anything. Kick down, same thing, route it around there. So now we're pretty open. This little hose right here, you're gonna cuss it. It's so hard to get off there. Personally, flathead screwdriver, I've never broke a map sensor. You probably will since you don't have a backyard full of them, but right there, get it lined up. Get this one lined up. Let's get the fuel line out of the way. Quit draining. It's a good hose.
There you go.
Sorry if the background noise is kind of annoying, but just something that's gotta happen. Fuel line disconnect. If I can find the short, I'll include it. I showed how to do that without a special tool, just a Sharpie.
It's already undone down here, but usually there's a 10mm.
Yep. And then they broke this little safety clip. If you're lucky, you can hook it into the brake line right there. Or we'll just try to tuck it away. That may be a Grand Cherokee thing. And this is very similar to a Grand Cherokee. This is the day after I did the survey. Did you see the survey?
The survey?
On YouTube?
Uh-uh.
These little clips, they're so annoying. Same principle right here. If you just honestly wiggle around with a flathead, they'll pop off. They're broke. They don't work.
It's like even if the mechanism breaks, they'll stay on there.
They'll stay on there. It's 20, 30 years old. I did a survey. ZJ, XJ, WJ, and Comanche. XJ was like 65% of the votes of my viewers.
As far as who had what?
Preferred.
Oh, preferred.
These you're gonna get carpal tunnel on. You just squeeze right in there, pull, and then the idler control right here. It's very tricky. You kind of push in and pry back with your screwdriver. Again, you're gonna struggle making it look easy. Sorry.
I'm learning things here. I struggle with them every single time.
So now the O2 sensor. We can't show you. It's got to come with a harness. I got to cut a zip tie. New toolbox. Learning. I was gonna say, Justin honestly has never did this, has he? In the Jeep?
A end frame?
Mm-hmm.
I've done a couple end frames, not very many. I had a black WJ. I think we did an end frame on it, didn't we?
Yes. Well,
because
you run it pretty hard.
Because that was the one that was weak as water for some reason. I probably had the timing off the whole time.
Probably. We should have started draining the oil first scene. That way everything's not wet, but we'll probably cut there. This is a trick, if Justin can get the camera in there, to tell when you go to look at the Cherokee if it's been run hot. Can you see that well melted wiring harness right there? Yeah. See how the harness is? Look at the back one. It's melted on the stud. Yeah. So that one's not as bad. So when we go to take this off, your hood will go to this little rubber plug. They tell you it won't, it will. Simple tool for the job. Channel locks. Slide them all the way back. Hook under. Go under. Yeah, it's all crunchy. So that's got that.
Now you take the whole wiring harness.
Wiring harness. Factory tucks under the fuel rail. I don't think it's necessarily mandatory that it goes back under there, but that's just the way factory preferred it. Now, wiring harness. What we're gonna do with you? Tuck over in there. It's worth your time to zip tie it if it won't stay.
It's like I think I always bungee cord and or zip tie.
Yeah, let me get a zip tie just to be sure. Man, the new toolbox got everything I need right where I need it. Right under there. Try to raise that up. I think 95 and older, you can. I've stood them up and clipped them into something, but this is different. So that's that. How'd that get back here?
What is? Oh, that's.
Cherokee has this little ground strap back here. I'm just gonna get it before I forget about it. And of course, I always put them back on. But it's funny, if you get a ZJ, they don't have it, and a WJ has like a little bitty small one. So it's kind of funny. 18 millimeter. Actually, I think it's 11/16. I just got accustomed to using a 18 millimeter. And I think, yeah, I'll remember telling. We're gonna speed this thing up. Power tools. Power tools. Yep. I always just lay it right up there just to keep up where it's at. That can lay there. Now let's get pretty close, ain't we?
Yeah, I mean, literally,
Wow.
get the valve. Well,
Power steering. This looks like our pump, but I always spray these with PB or whatever your preferred stuff is. They're just really bad about galding, and especially this little bolt right here. See it?
yes.
It goes down and it's your tensioner, so it's going to be rusty. This one's not. Let's get a 15 ratchet wrench. Now we're going to break the pulley loose right here.
You call that the lock.
Yep, that's the lock. Now, the same extension I've been using the whole time. Put a 15 millimeter on it. Come right along in here. See the pulley going down? Yep, should be good. So now we'll slip the belt off. This fan, you don't have to remove it. It's kind of frustrating. Now we need these bolts. I'm going to
switch sides just for the heck of it.
Yes, that'd be fine. I got a power tool. I'm not sure if these are a 13 or a half. I'm pretty sure they're 13. Let me try a half. That socket's about tired.
Texas socket's got a lot of miles on them.
All of them is cheap too. A half does fit good.
Milwaukee would have just broke it loose.
Yeah.
In your hand.
Keep note, if you screw that bolt out too far, it'll come out through this hole and you can't get to the rest of them. When you get the rest of them loose, everything frees up and you can just slide them out of there. Last one, 3 bolts on here. Now let's see if we can slide them out. At the end of the video, I will have every tool that I use. These bolts, I just try to find like a location that you can remember. Just lay them somewhere close to where they go. Kind of makes it easier to remember.
I don't think there's too many bolts that you're going to take off this thing that won't go back where they belong. Put it that way.
These will go in the coil pack. I've seen it done.
They're too long though, ain't they? They stick out probably about a half an inch.
They cut them off, and then those bolts they put over here were too short. So now
They go where they make sense.
Yep. Still leaking a little bit. Lay this over here to make sure we don't forget we used it. Pump, just grab it, wiggle it out of the way, it'll sit right there. Good location for it. see. 2 9/16 bolts right here. Hopefully ratchet wrench will work.
Those bolts right there are a little bit harder to get to on the earlier models, but they are there.
Well, a ZJ has a stud.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I've got a trick for it, but this isn't a ZJ, so we'll worry about that another day.
Yeah, the ones on the earlier ones, they're completely covered, so you have to come in there. A wrench is the only thing that will get in there.
That's too fat. That's why it wouldn't work. Oh, WJs will have a they call it a sensor ground. I'm just gonna lay these in the bracket itself. But Cherokee, one don't have it, does it?
I don't think so.
I think it's only a Grand Cherokee thing. But if you pick your head up, it won't come off. One thing I'll usually do is remove this thermostat housing, because when you go to pick it up, come out. Actually, let's just go ahead and do it to make sure it don't have it. Same tool I had on my gun.
You think it's got a thermostat in there?
No. Cherokee has to have a thermostat to run cool.
It's not what I read on the internet.
I think enough people are catching on. Like, there's still a few people. I always just stick something in the hole. Look at there. Justin was wrong.
160, I bet.
Yep, Justin knows how to get out of there. Y'all can't see numbers, but I can. 195.
195, good job.
Smart people. Working on a video for thermostats. We'll talk about that another day. Should we drain the oil or go ahead and finish the top side? Let's go ahead and drain the oil.
Oh, you want to drain the oil?
Yeah.
You want to cut the seam right here?
No.
No? Keep going?
Keep going.
Going up.
You don't have to have a lift, but it makes it easier. But to get the oil pan out, it may be a little tricky situation, but we'll speed it up from this point and pick you up. Yeah. Is it recording audio?
Yes, it's recording audio. We're 22 minutes in on this thing. How's
Hey,
that?
20. What'd it say?
We started at 4:06, I think.
About 4 on the dot is when we started talking.
Yeah.
What time is it now?
4:24.
I'm almost.
Ready for the head to come off?
My record is 21 or 26 minutes from pulling in the shop to the head sitting in the floor. Use your locks, kids. Be safe. Let's just. Oh, this is the part that sucks. If you've got. Let me get some light. If yours is a 2000, 2001, I'm sorry. The bolts right here on a 2000, 2001,
They suck.
they suck so bad. That's one thing I meant to add, is if you, for some reason, do have one, odds are you need pistons. You can take the,
Cats.
nope. You can take the intake and exhaust manifold and actually slide the manifold over. That way you can just slide your head out of the way. This has been off for some reason.
It wasn't even tight.
I guess it's got a new header. There ain't no snakes, is there?
I ain't looking.
One day there's gonna be one sitting there looking at me and I'm gonna squeal and bust my head and probably knock myself out.
Come in, lay it on the floor.
Yeah, what happened? That should just be squeal off there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's loose.
it's loose.
Yeah.
When we get to the oil pan, it's a different story. That's them. I laid these bolts in the same location. Now we need an oil drain pan.
This is uncut.
Let's go this way. Oh. This ain't the right tool for the job, but it's the tool I use. 5/8 should be what it is, but you never know.
I've got every flavor you can imagine before. I don't know where people find these drain plugs at.
The oil pan I just put in something was what was I gonna say? It had a different thread size. Is the next size up?
I've seen them. They put some kind of inserts you can buy, I'm sure.
Possibly. It's gonna be black oil. Or it should be. It has oil. Water, wouldn't it?
That looks like water to me. Yeah, it's mixy water.
Mixy, yeah. Probably was at the bottom when I just fired it up. So that's that.
Oh, she's a little chocolatey. Not really chunky.
I'm gonna let that drain for a second. Let's work on well, somebody's already been working on this one. The bolts for these transmission lines. Usually there's one that comes in this way, and then there's one that comes in this way, and then you've got a little bracket. Uh-oh.
Oh,
What's going on here?
she's getting heavy.
I think it stopped up.
Live, uncut.
Yes, sir. First time ever. There was so many things I wanted to say, and now my brain just goes out the window. So that's that. We're gonna let that drain for a second. Ooh, that's dirty.
Oh wow.
We're gonna let that drain for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and zip a few oil pan bolts off. Let's see, new toolbox. That extension. If you've got a long extension like this, well, you're probably on the ground, so that wouldn't work, would it? You maybe if you have it on jack stands. I don't know why it's not draining. Oh, but just from the ones I've done, if you got a long extension, it just helps to not like try to wiggle in there. Like, let's just get started.
That and it'll save your arms if you lay it on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm sure people that have had to work on the ground having to hold a power tool up for extended periods of time.
I usually just lay this in the wheel, give or take, magnetic pan.
And start zipping them off.
All four corners have a 1/2 inch. The rest of them are 7/16. Should be. They rammed a pin on that one. So that's not factory. I'm just telling you what it's supposed to be here. Your Jeep may be something else. They've been in the bottom of this blue oil pan gasket. Alright, we'll knock these out.
We may find surprises in here.
Yeah. Now, like right now, you'll come back through here. So much quicker it is if you got this extension. Oil ain't running over. Get you a handful of them. Throw them over there. Don't let that drip on you, Justin.
Yeah, I got close to it a second ago.
And it freeze tastes bad. Transmission lines in the way. This side. There you go. What else does people need to know?
Does the starter have to come off?
That's a good question, Justin. That's stripped out.
Yeah, I was gonna say when y'all were putting these back together, these four bolts that go in the front cover, torque them to split.
Very lightly. I would rather it leak and then tighten it. Well, I'd rather it leak and then tighten it later.
Yeah.
The shield back here, I will show you. The shield has to come off. It's hooked in like the oil pan. But if you want to take the starter off, it really helps because between the starter and the exhaust, the oil pan don't like to come through there. I'll take a ratchet strap and pull the exhaust over and get it out of the way. So I'm going to let that keep on dripping. Go back to the top side and finish the top side up. The longer you let this drip, the less it's going to leak on you.
Yeah, because you got to remember the oil was up pretty much touching the connecting rods and all that.
We did press the button on camera, make sure it's still working.
Well, we're at 29 minutes, so.
That's right on the dot. We'll click the button, we'll start it back, just make sure your camera. I've never filmed this long, so I don't know what to expect. How long of a break did we take?
I literally had time to eat 2 grapes.
What time was it when you clicked off? 4:31?
Yeah.
What time is it now? 4:31?
2.
Show them how much coolant come out of it. The block will still have a little bit more in there.
That's literally kind of hard to tell, but there you go. Dipstick.
Lift makes it nice, but it is not necessary. Let's put that on top side.
We're ready to take the valve cover off and see the milky.
Yeah, a little bit. So where'd my quarter drive impact go?
Right where you left.
Right where I left. Don't need those, don't need those. I am keeping up with my tools. Now let's get another magnetic pan if you got it. Oh, my floors are getting dirty. It's tracking water everywhere.
First world problems.
The back one is very hard. This is 7/16. I'm going to be using, what am I using? About that much extension. I think I'm using a wiggle. I can't remember. New toolbox. It's up here. Let's just see. I think Cherokee is the one you can get straight on it.
Yeah.
The
WJ's kind of overhang.
wiring harness is in the way. Hey, push that lift down a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's good, that's good. Wiring harness hangs off the back stud, but let's see. Well, you can get very close. Yep.
If people are wondering, you can do all this with hand tools, but we're...
Hand tools?
Yeah, hand tools.
7/16. Before I forget to say it, all I have right now is a head gasket. I would highly recommend ordering a top-end gasket. But if you do valve cover gaskets, be sure the little grommets underneath these, be sure to change them. They're not fun, but they're actually what pushes down. If you
say most of the time they're going to be hard as a rock. You're going to have to break. There's no. We haven't even figured out a good way to get them off. Like
that's a 10. That ain't supposed to be a 10. Oh, I figured out. You take a pair of wire cutters,
side cutters,
cut them, and they'll split. That's the wrong way.
Just out of curiosity, has this got one of my heads on there?
You know, it looks like it's been changed.
It is, because it's a different color than the rest of the motor.
It's 99. Well, that's probably factory. It's 99 with a plug in the back. A coolant plug.
Yeah, very, very few of those have that.
That's that. It's crazy how many people didn't know that you can take the head off with the intake.
Oh, yeah.
You can do it, and that's why I was saying the 2001 guys, if you can't get those cap bolts, take all your intake out, take these studs out, and you can just pull it over here to the side, pick the head up. It's kind of frustrating, but if you ain't done those bolts yet, woo, valve cover. Ready? I ain't even pulled the cap off. Just go straight out of there.
Oh, man.
Yep. Oh, man. But it's savable. Next part, critical. Lay your valve cover upside down and find a good spot. And we're going to take these, sit it right there, sit it right there. And if Justin feels like explaining why I'm taking bolts out, what did we say the other day? People's all the time, you got to put the push rods back in the same spot, but they can't physically. Push rods spin and pivot, so there's no physical possible way they could find a home.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good in theory, and I'm sure there's companies that's going to recommend you do that, but there's no base circle that it can possibly create. I guess
hit the ground.
Like the bottom of a lifter is, I mean, literally doing the same thing all day long, and it's going to create a groove that it's going to ride in.
If you're doing a head, do not put new lifters without putting a new cam. I can tell you that. I learned that the hard way. I didn't know, but what Justin just said, a cam and a lifter,
they marry each other. I guess you'd say they find their home. And
we had a motor with 505,000 miles. We was doing pistons in it. The guy's like, why don't we do lifters while we was there? We did lifters, and it ate the cam up within a few hundred miles.
Yeah, this was a long time ago before we...
Take these, just sit them right here, and that way you can put these back in the same spot if you feel like it. But
it's good practice. I mean,
we're gonna be needing some new used rockers. That's crazy. Now this is the part, again, what I say. What I'll do, start in the back, and usually yours will look better. I lay it there, and then I'll take the next one. See how I'm staggering them? Just do enough that you can recognize going like that. That way, when you're going back together, you know this is the top side, and you can put them straight back in the way they come out.
Also place this where it doesn't fall over. Justin's done that many a times.
I've done it too.
Yeah, they dump out and you've pretty much defeated the whole purpose.
Yeah, like we said, we're gonna need some. Justin's off work. He's not getting paid. If you're a tightwad and want to cheat and double stack gaskets, and you got 2 used ones laying around,
I don't recommend it, but
I've done it. Works fine. Head bolts. That's the only problem child there, ain't it? See how it looks like they've already worked on this one before.
yeah, it'll be close.
Now I've got a 1/2-inch socket to go on these harder ones. This one you can't. So I've got a 3/8 socket. Yes. This one's a little shorter, allows me to get in there. We need to make a custom one. About half the height. Just kind of push your harness back in there. It's funny, I meant to say this in the video. I think everybody knows that a Cherokee was not meant to have the 4.0 in it. And you can tell because they just threw it in here. Oh, let me zip that one out. If you work on a certain year Cummins, the push tubes, do you know this?
I don't know what you're gonna say though.
They have a rubber plug you take out of the cow tray for the push rod to go up and then come back out.
Yeah, because the Cummins was designed to go in there. That's what Dex will know which models, but like I think my 4-cylinder and the old V6 is like this right here is pretty much straight. I think, isn't it?
No, you're talking about up here.
Well, yeah, I know all that's different, but I thought something here on the firewall was different too, wasn't it?
I done screwed myself up.
Uh-oh. Just go back forward.
There we go. This, if you're a perfectionist, raise it up about that much, put a zip tie. This one I'm not, so I'm not too concerned. Now, let's see. Justin prefers reverse torque rotation. I'm not saying it's a bad practice, but I'm not saying it's like, I don't know.
It ain't gonna make any difference, so just go ahead and do it.
That one probably needs an extension or wiggle. The 4.0 is not as finicky as all the Jeep pages make it out to be. It's a pretty relaxed, easygoing engine. So
It's just an old thing that runs on dinosaur oil.
I hope he's watching. It's funny to. I hate that fun of people that watch my stuff, but it was somebody arguing that a 180 and a 195 thermostat isn't going to have the proper temperature cylinder burning the gas. I was like, this thing was programmed in 1999. And some of the older ones we was talking about, like 1991, do you really think the tuning was that severe?
I would love to see the fuel map and the ignition map look like on them.
What was that we saw that had an ignition map, had like 4 tables for like...
It was I won't say it was the very first Mustang, was one of the first fuel injected cars. The table on that thing, normally they have thousands of little squares, like whatever. I think it had 9, maybe 12.
That's funny because my YZ450L, same thing. It had like 9 tables for ignition, timing, and stuff like that. Head bolts, keep up. Stud one, little holes go there, hole there. These are the short ones, and these are the long ones.
If you get them wrong, you'll figure it out pretty quick.
The back one is not going to come out unless you feel like getting a hammer, beating on all that stuff. But 42 minutes in, we've already worked on the oil pan, and we're fixing to have to head off in just a second. Live. Head bolts. I'll put them in the parts washer, let them be soaking in a second.
Got the brakes on?
I don't know. This is a brand new toolbox.
It's rolling.
It rolls like it's heavy, but I ain't put that much stuff in it. Let's see. New toolbox. What I'm gonna do is just a fancy chain. If you're man enough and strong enough, you can just grasp the head and pick it up. I've only done it one time. Still 2 bolts.
Oh yeah, still 2 bolts from your rockers.
If you're a perfectionist, go get you, what is that?
Should be a 3/8, I believe. I guess.
Half 5/16. 5/16.
Oh, 5/16, my bad.
5/16, 16.
Yeah, because 3/8 is 4/2, ain't it?
Yes, that's the upgrade. This chain you can see is a little tall. We'll just twist her up and get it about, I'd say on the front side of you. Twist it up again. Yeah. Stay. Make sure them bolts are out. Justin feels like he can elaborate the dowel pin discovery he just figured out.
Well, I won't say wait until we get the head off, and I'll show what I'm talking about.
Hook that in there. Now we need a ratchet strap.
You need a ratchet strap.
Yep. Short one. What I do, I know you don't have your cherry picker like this. Have you seen this? I can guarantee you don't have one. Put just tension on it. Now I'm going to hook into my chain. Let's see. Something we can hook to.
This is basically just to stabilize it.
Yeah. Ain't really nothing but I forget every time I do this.
You say, ain't you done this before?
Yeah, but I'm on camera and I'm trying to do stuff the right way. I don't always do stuff the right way. There we go, look at there. It's kind of sideways, but it's just it's got dowel pins and it's going to be stuck. Look at there, I forgot a bolt.
No, it's fine.
It's going to try to stick right here because this bracket's pushing and they're pushing. Right in there is always going to be the problem child.
There it goes.
Looks like MLS.
This later ones, that should be MLS.
04 is only MLS. Did you know that?
Really?
I'm about
Well, every-
99% sure.
Every kit that I've ever got for anything past like a 99, they come with MLS. Actually, I think it depends on if it's a WJ or a XJ.
I really think.
In which, at the end of the day, any of them will work with any
Yeah,
of
they're
them.
entertaining. Now this back bolt is. Hey, get it out. Seems like the exhaust is.
It sounded like it come loose. Yep, it did. It did then. I heard that. I don't know what that
That's
was.
a new header. The donut gasket fell out. Yeah, that's friend. That's fine.
There it is.
It is 4:46. We started at. So it's 40 minutes on the dot because
Yeah, it was 6 minutes, and we've been talking the whole time. What he was talking about earlier, the later models come with a dowel pin. The earlier models didn't have a dowel pin. I always thought, hey, that is my head, and it's been run hot.
That is your head.
Oh, but either way, I always thought if they didn't have the dowel pin,
Oh, it's cracked.
if they didn't have the dowel pin, that they would not work on the ones on the block that did. But literally, they just took right here and added this right here for the dowel pin. So
I don't know if camera will see. Get it. There's a nice cherry picker. Crack right there. Crack right there. Yeah, that sucks. I knew it had a burnt valve, but I wasn't expecting a crack. And that's what, number 2, you're learning stuff, everything I know in Cherokees in this video. If you take your head off, I don't care if you got to wait, what you do. I promise it's worth getting it checked, machine shop. But if you just for some reason don't and feel like lapping the valves, do valve seals. 4.0 rings never go bad to burn oil. It's valve seals. Jessica can testify.
they're always hard as a rock.
Hard as a rock. Some of them get so hard they fall off the stem and you can see.
Well, it's that. Not only that, they get hard and then they get caught up on the stem themselves, and then they'll jump. So they're not even in two or three different ways. They're not doing their job anymore. Oh yeah, that piston material?
I think it's been, I don't know what it is, but, oh, yeah, wait till I tell them about my honing though. Yeah, all right, now oil pan. Oh, no. You want to take a break, Walt? Well, yeah, we'll come back when we get it up in there.
Back at it again, Dex. No break.
All right, let's get some light.
It's 4:50 now.
450. We need these pistons
We're almost
out
an hour into this.
Oh gosh. Doing the best I can on lighting. It's just it is what it is. Exhaust, first thing I'm gonna do is get a ratchet strap and pull it out of the way. If y'all notice, I prefer ratchet straps. They're my friend. They hold stuff in place.
We call all these his working ratchet straps. Look how nasty they are. Greasy.
So we're just gonna wrap it around.
I might have bad lighting on this side.
Yeah.
Just wrapping it around so we can pull the exhaust.
That thing was trying to hang up. No, I'll do it later. I was gonna say I might cut the catalytic converter off because it's gonna be stopped up. Anytime you blow a head gasket, well, let me say that. Any mechanic that tells you your catalytic converter stopped up, unless you blow the head gasket, I don't think so. So that's got that. At this time, I'm going to reapply the drain plug. And don't lose that dumb gasket. It's already drained as much as it can. What's the word I'm looking for?
Out of the pan. Now it's just going to leak into the pan. So
Yeah.
you're going to take the pan off.
All right, so let's get my toolbox set back up. I need a head, Justin.
Luckily for Dex, he gets to take a break because I don't have any of them currently at the moment.
So Justin gets to go back to work.
Yeah, I get to go back to work.
I don't know about all four of these casters. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, you might want to lock one or two of them.
What if they wouldn't spin? Let's get the 13 millimeters out, which these should have been out before, so they're probably loose.
He's just taking the dust shield off. Get this out of here. There we go.
And then two, if we're adding that, if you're doing this and it's been run hot, more than likely you're going to need an O2 sensor. Same principle. The coolant stops up your O2 sensor, whatever I'm trying to say there. People's in a hurry, man. We gotta get power tools.
Nobody's in a hurry. They're probably sitting at home on their couch just watching TV.
Probably so. I'm sitting here stressing. Get this done. These stupid bolts, the 18 millimeters, for no reason, people like to torque them down to like 75 foot-pounds. I like this new toolbox. So now we're done with oil. Slide it out of the way. This one goes this way.
Have we ever come to the conclusion why them big bolts are there? Is that because of Toyota had?
You know, I wonder that, but it's casted 440s.
Right.
So I don't know why Toyota put it there. I guess Toyota was recommending, hey, you should do this, and that's probably what happened.
Yeah, Jeep was probably like, nah, it'll be fine.
This just slides on there if you're putting it back on. Be sure to watch these little lips, make sure they get back in there. Lay it right there. So where are we at?
If y'all are wondering about the Toyota thing, the transmission behind these is built by basically Toyota, the Eisen Corporation.
So
that's why they last so long.
Yeah. Now back to your 7/16. We're gonna finish those up. So do we like speed up parts like this, or we just leave it the way it is?
No, just leave it the way it is.
Wow.
I mean, we're still talking, so.
Try to think of something else you might need to know about a Cherokee. 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive actually makes no difference. The 4-wheel drive comes right there. We'll see on this one. The only thing you'll have to do is pull the lower control arm bolts out and just take a ratchet strap and pull this forward. Sometimes it falls out, sometimes it don't. Just yeah.
This one's gonna fall out.
Somebody's gonna comment, just take the shocks off. I think that works, but it pulls it down with a suspension, and it actually makes it harder. So I don't know. Oh, we're getting my floor dirty.
It's leaking on him, and he's worried about the floor.
All you studded bolts for sure go on the front half of the motor. There's no reason for studs to go back here.
Especially around the starter. There's no reason for studs back there.
That one's still stripped.
Oh, it ain't all coming out at all.
Oh, Dex teaches stuff in his videos. Go back, get you 2 bolts with the studs. I will show you 2 bolts with the studs. Give or take right around the middle area. Just start them. That way you can spin the stud portion with your finger, and when you get ready to fall, you got something to catch it. I have took these out and walk away and they fall and hit the ground. And we need a 1/2 inch wrench or socket, which is out somewhere.
The purple one right there.
Yeah, was purple. Front ones will knock them out quick and simple. I bet this motor's gonna be nasty. Oh.
It might not be too bad on the bottom.
Maybe not. It's been sitting a long time.
Water done washed it.
There's a stud back here. It's supposed to be up there.
Yeah, there's really no way to show them. Just trust us, they're back there.
Yours is gonna have like a piece of rubber. Just shove. If you just push on it, it will go. And I think I'm about sold out of them, but I do sell them on the website also. I don't really know what
to our knowledge, I don't think you can buy them.
I don't think, well, no, I don't know. If you know, let me know. So now the oil pan is ready. We're gonna take this bolt out. Come on.
It sounds like it's ready to fall.
Yeah. That one's still stripped up there. Justin may have to get it for me. Oh man, don't put pressure on it. There we go.
Where's your gun at?
Just wait. It may fine. I'm gonna do it all by myself.
Okay.
I don't need no man in my...
It's it's still hanging in there.
Can do it all by myself.
I'll gladly hold this camera. That's too small.
Oh, it's a 10.
Yeah, that's why it's stripped. You ain't turning it.
I don't know where this person come up with all the random 10 millimeters to put in everything.
Well, probably, like, go back to what we said, that was probably stripped out, and then he found a 10 millimeter that was just slightly bigger, so. Yeah. Remember where that one goes.
For some reason, if you're working on like 04, this is the critical part, Justin. For some reason, if you're working on like 04, they all have 7/16 all around.
Oh, yeah.
So now if your exhaust was not ratchet strapped, it would not come out this easy. Come on, Josh.
Is it gonna come out easy?
Nope. So now we gotta take them bolts. I guess I get this off down. Oh, if you're doing this and you're on the ground or on jack stands, if you're on the ground, you can just simply take them bolts out. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You don't. They've got pressure unless you got a lift kit. So now 21 millimeter.
Big gun. Medium-sized gun.
Maybe this will do it.
It's gonna be loud.
Let me get these on the wheel before I forget.
I don't know if y'all can hear it. Somebody's getting down in the background.
That won't look too bad in there. Ta-da! Getting it in there won't be that easy. For some reason it won't come out. Take your wrench. Don't be standing under. This is the part where you're probably going to start strapping it and it's probably just going to fall and scare you to death. Let's try this one. Let me take a bigger one.
The little audio things were going, they were just pegged.
We're going to hook right in there. Now we're going to go over the axle, back to the body. Let's see, find you somewhere to hook. Maybe that'll survive. Should I let the oil pan fall and make it funny?
Just do it how you would do it. feel like it's ready to fall.
What's that?
Pickup tube.
Oh, look there. Ooh, it's a dirty motor. Don't freak out. It's gonna survive.
Hold on a second. Ooh.
Look at the oil pan. Oh, pickup tube. Your lights.
I don't want to get oil dripped on me. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's clogged.
Come on. What time is it now?
It is exactly 5 o'clock.
We were a solid straight hour. We took 2 1-minute breaks.
Yes.
Or 3.
I've ate two grapes since we started.
I feel like that's pretty dadgum uncut. At this point, I want that to sit overnight. If you've got patience to do that, that just helps, because when you start taking this, I actually put on a welder's cap because it gets all in my curly hair. At this point, you can probably let this go and just get it out of the way. But yeah, that's pretty wild. And anything else to add?
Not so far. Yeah, I've got to go make Dex a head real quick.
We've got pistons. I was gonna allow Justin to sit down and we was gonna set the camera on the stand. I wasn't gonna tell him I was gonna make him put the rings on the pistons. So yeah, we're gonna let this sit, drip. I'll spray some brake cleaner in maybe a few days. Need a head. Justin can go. I'll get taking the intake off. Feel like that's pretty common sense, and then
We'll be back and finish it up.
finish it up.
We're an hour.
I still got plenty of tricks to show you. Don't worry about that.
There. We're an hour in.
Show.
Yeah, that's. I've already looked at it. It's 5:01.
Try the clock too. It's 5. Yeah.
I mean, we really wasn't trying to be in a hurry. It just kind of happened that way.
Usually I work faster. That's what. So if I was in a hurry, I know I get the head off in 25 minutes. So that, I'd say 30, 35 minutes you could be here.
Yep.
We'll see you when we get back to going. All right, I'm by myself now, but what I'm gonna do is get like a stool, sit this baby down, try to get it right on the edge of the stool. Should stay. Now we'll go down and get some slack. And if the head falls, the head's junk essentially, unless you watch my video about fixing a crackhead. Now I'm going to remove these chains. I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and stand it up. Usually if they stand up like this, they usually sit pretty stiff. If you got a 9/16 wiggle, this is where it comes in handy. The intake will come off before the exhaust, so like this stud right here, we're not even worried about that stud, but that bolt, and then this bolt, and then this bolt, and then that bolt right there. No, there's not no light. Well, now you can see it. Then same principle, come across the top, there's a bolt, there's a bolt, there's a bolt, there's a bolt. And especially on the horseshoe intake, watch right in this area, they tend to break. Even right there, they tend to break. If you ever put one back together and experience a very high pitch wee noise, it's probably where it's coming from, where you retorqued it. All right, we're gonna start out, and if you're like I said, the 2000, 2001 guys, if you got a wiggle or just a socket, if you got a socket and a wiggle and an extension, wrap it up in electrical tape, because when it's going to dangle down that way. First one, you can like shove your arm up underneath here. Second one, the same principle. Third one, you just got to know where they're at. The fourth one gets really tricky, but if you squeeze like heck, you can get your arm back on there. Just kind of help guide it. And you have to use a ratchet. Luckily, this one has not been torque spec very great. They got the tight one super tight. They got the top one super tight. Didn't get the bottom ones tight at all. Yep. Good old mechanic. Oh, Justin did confirm this is not his head. We thought it was. Either way, the Jeep's got run hot. I done showed you proof that it has. Wrench and a hammer. I know you can't see, but you should be able to tell what's going on. Got all the tops, 2 bottoms left. Not a huge deal, but if you're like torquing these down, make sure they spin on the washer right there, because it's kind of hard. I'm not a good explainer, but if it's made to the washer, you got like more resistance. So when you're torquing down, you're not actually torquing down the bolt, you're torquing down this whole entire head right here. Just doesn't get as tight as it's specified. Again, it's a tractor motor. Thought that's all of them. Dowel pin on the bottom. Oh, I forgot one on top. That one's spark coming off. What I just got done telling you, yeah. I mean, ain't really nothing to see, but when I loosened it, that right there is spark. So that just tells you how much resistance that had. Now, there's that. Gas. We'll just lay it up here. If for some reason your engine had like a major come apart and like shoot everything up, oh, no way. I ain't even gonna touch that. What did I just tell y'all? Check that out. Focused in. That's part of the intake laying right there. What did I just get done telling y'all? Hey. You can see it is missing. Oh. It's junk now, but that's missing. I do sell them on my website. I'm pretty sure I'm the cheapest person around. I don't want this video to sound like I'm advertising for myself. I'm trying to help you out. It's not advertising for me. If it was, I'd raise my prices. Now, wherever my regular socket went, just a regular bolt here, and then studs on the front and back. Sometimes the studs go ahead and take themselves out for you. Sometimes they don't. I've seen the, again, sorry for if you're a 2000, 2001 XJ guy, but the studs will actually rust inside of the manifold, and once it's in there, it's pretty much hard to get out. Again, I do sell them on the website also. I need to send that to a souvenir to somebody. Lay that there. So now the head's done. It goes to Justin for future process, and yep. So it is now, I'm not doing math, it's that time, so several hours later, and it's still just dripping away. Number one, if I forget to say it in the morning, if you're doing it with an oil pump and leave it on, put you a Ziploc bag over it, zip tie it up there. Obviously don't forget to take it off, but that'll keep it from leaking, and then I'm gonna let it down and get the oil filter off. But I think for the visual aspect, I'm gonna take the oil pump off Plus, I need to clean that screen out there, but I don't see any waste. I personally don't see any reason to waste money on an oil pump. They've never fixed oil pressure issues, and I've never seen one go bad. So, just my personal, I've done this a few times. So it's gonna sit there, and in the morning, it'll probably be afternoon, we'll finish taking her down and see what it looks like. 3:30, we just clocked in. What's fixing to happen is off camera, I took the oil pump off and I told him last night to put a bag over it. So it's still sitting here dripping, and Justin brought me the last head he has. So I got a head, and I showed you the intake broke. So I'm gonna get the intake, get the exhaust, get the head ready to go back on, and Justin gets to put rings on so he don't have to sit there and do nothing. Oh, my floor!
Just do my job.
Oh no, that's gotta be cleaned up. And this, if you got cardboard, oil dry, whatever you prefer, oil is going to be everywhere. So, yeah, but y'all will get here when we do this. We're just going to do the stuff that's common sense.
Dex told me by the time I got my Pistons done, he'd be done. Music!
I like one bolt. And this is torque. Proper torque specs.
What is the torque specs of that?
I think a lot of people like my channel because I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't care to say it the way it is.
You just get it done.
You just get it done. And it works. You know, most channels be like, you gotta swiftly torque this to 22, do a round in a circular pattern to make sure it doesn't break the intake, come back, do 33, let it sit overnight, crank cycle.
You're gonna lose viewers by talking.
It's best to shut up.
Yeah.
So that's ready. Now we gotta get all oily and nasty and stuff, right?
Oh, you still gotta get the Pistons out. Oh.
Shut that door. Bought me some time to get some gloves. This motor's nasty. So let's get some lighting. Hopefully the lighting works out. Yep. The girdle brace is not necessary, but just for visuals and it just makes it easier. And plus this one needs clean. I'm going to remove that. And I feel like everybody should understand how that happens.
9/16.
9/16. Don't ask me torque specs. Actually, they are. They're 33. No.
I'll be honest, I don't even torque them things.
No. I think it's pretty sure it's 33 or 27 or 28 or something like that. It's like,
as long as you're not torquing them more than the main cap, I feel like you're okay.
Yeah, like what could happen, what could hurt. Let's get this just out of the way here. This is gonna get tripped on.
Ooh, it's nasty.
Yes, it is. If I started laying across the post of the battery, that would have.
I heard that.
That's a bolt out of the oil pump. Usually when you're doing this job, stuff is falling, pistons are falling everywhere. I think we're done leaking. I guess you could call that your coolant. Oh, my floor. think anything we missed as far as educational?
Can't think of nothing.
Oh, educate them about ring size that you just messed up.
Okay.
They know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So I've never run into this before, but I don't remember what the other part number was. I'd ordered these and went to put these oil rings in, and turns out it was too big, and I was like, what the heck? There's 6 of them, this and that. Turns out they had sent me the ones for the older style. They use
87 and 95.
Yeah.
They was measured in 16th and
I don't know off the top of my
I think
head.
they measured those rings are a 16th, and then they went to millimeter.
They're a much heavier ring.
I didn't know. We learned that too. They went away from the old heavy ring because the heavy ring swells out so hard it actually eats the cylinders up. So if you take apart a 95 or older, as long as it's original, it'll actually eat like a cylinder groove at the top. As long as it's these new pistons, they don't do that.
Yeah, I've took some apart before, be anywhere from 10 to 40 thousandths bigger where the combustion happens.
Okay, one. I think it's the last one, but it's just stuck. Yep. All right, got that. Now, get that out of the way. Oh, what time did the clock back in? I don't guess it matters. It's all part of the job, right?
Yeah, we started at 3:30-ish.
And did what needed to be done. Justin put rings on. Then I got the, I had to go find a new intake because my other one was broke. Y'all know that. It's dirty. I bet if I never started this, it wouldn't be so nasty. It mixed it all up.
Yeah, it probably would have been separated.
So, the next trick, Justin, like, there ain't no reason for me to label these.
No
They're just
reason.
coming straight out. If you was doing it and reusing your rods, I mean, I don't even think there's
I've weighed multiple of them, and every so often there'll be like half an ounce variance or whatever.
It's a tractor motor.
Yeah, it's a tractor motor. It will never know it.
If you was taking them out and putting them back in the same spot, I don't even know why you'd be doing it. Just a little trick I learned is, you put the little indentions over here. I use a center punch, and I always center punch them on the driver's side. That way, when you're looking at them, they're all right, and then both the locks go to the driver's side, and the flat side of the piston goes to the driver's side.
Yep, everything goes to the driver's side.
So we are I'm going to go ahead and knock them all out. So I got to keep these in order.
For those of you that are ordering pistons and rods from us, there's about 3 different style rods. Like this one kind of tapers down. I don't know if Texas got another one laying around, but long story short.
Are these the WJs?
Yeah, those are, I think, the WJ style.
Basically.
Yeah, but they taper down, whereas the Cherokees, you'll see them here in a minute, they're the same I-beam all the way down. All the rods will work across all platforms.
Basically same weight and all that, all the balance and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So now, taking them out. But that's all I was going to say, is make sure, especially the cores, if you're returning them, keep up with where those caps come from, put them back on the same rod, because one guy, well, no, he didn't do it. Yeah, he did do it. He just threw all of them back in the box, and I give him his money back as a core, but those went to scrap metal, because I can't justify guessing where they come from. So just make sure you put them back and they're home. The nuts don't matter. They're universal. Let's see.
And personally, I don't even care if you put them on backwards, just make sure they go back on the same one.
Same rod, yeah. It does make sense. Now we're going to start, let's start with 1 and 6.
Turns over easy.
It does. No compression. 1/2 inch. That shouldn't fall out on you, so I'm going to take the nut off the number 6 as well.
If it does fall out, you've probably got bigger problems.
Yeah, if it falls off just sitting there. Now the rod bearing, different story. You'll take something off and it'll be sitting there, and all of a sudden it'll spin over, catch an air gap, and boom, fall on your floor. Down there. We need one more paper towel. I've done this before. Alright, so now, some kind of
Tappy tap.
tappy tap. And keep in mind, these are junk. You're throwing them away, so don't be offended if you scratch them.
The pistons, not the rods.
Yeah. Hit the piston. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and send it home. Go all the way through. Somebody's screaming about scratching the cylinders. Just no, don't do that. It doesn't care. You see now I've opened up that. It's going to start pouring oil everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So now take this and lay it in proper orientation where it was. Number 1. Now let's get number 6. Quit raining on me. This just takes experience, but don't be scared.
You're out. You're good.
Well, I try to get the bottom skirt out so it'll hook. Because if it don't,
it's out. I can see it.
out the top.
Yeah.
Keep up with it. The cap goes.
As long as you get past the oil groove, it should
Well,
be.
when I rotate it around, it's going to try to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me get that one higher. You can, if you was doing it, especially on the ground, I would do 2 at a time. Yeah, that's out of the way. What number do you think it is?
What number I think what is?
The problem, noise.
Oh, generally, it's usually number 3 or 4, I think.
It is weird. I've seen 2 and 5. I don't know. I've seen them all.
I was like, I've seen them all, but usually it's 3 and 4 because
It does seem like it's the middle ones.
it's usually the middle ones.
All right, now we're going to do number 2, 2 and 4.
Yeah, it's either 3 and 4 or number 6 because number 6 usually gets the hottest.
Yeah.
It's number 6 is usually the one that's melted to the cylinder wall.
For any reason you're trying to diagnose, this is how crazy. I'll tell you a story. When I first started, people was so tight, and I would do whatever paid my bills. I didn't want to pull them all out. I just wanted to fix the noise. You even know this?
I know.
I would unplug injectors, hold a rubber hose to my ear and listen, unplug the injectors. If there's no fuel, there's no explosion, and it would cancel out the majority of the knock. I'd take it down like I'm doing right now, and I would put a 1 used piston in, slap it back together, and the crazy part, they're probably still on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know any that's
But we don't recommend.
Yeah, that was
9 times out of 10, if one breaks a skirt, there's at least two or 3 behind it that are cracked.
well. That's what's crazy too, is I've pulled non-tapping motors.
You about to leak on your arm there.
Non-tapping motors apart. All 6 of them be minor cracks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was number 2. Don't get lost. Number 2. It's raining.
No, I was looking at the clock. You're literally 3 minutes into this.
Seriously?
Yeah, we started at 4, didn't we?
Oh. 3 minutes. Wait.
We started about 4.
Wait. Ow, it's stuck.
Get you a, you ain't got a brass hammer, do you? Oop.
I got oil in my eye. Kind of blurry vision. So that was number 5. Now we got
2 more.
2 more.
Go around to this side for no apparent reason.
Oh, it just glides. Leave them a little bit offset that way, like just offset, and you can get your whatever you're beating on them with out of there easier.
Beating on them?
If we wasn't doing this live on camera, I think I would degrease this one and pressure wash this whole bottom.
It'll get rid of the moisture.
Probably in first. So now number 3 and 4.
Oh no.
That's gonna be okay. I don't know if we even talked about it. Am I reusing rod bearings, or am I just making me put new ones?
Oh, that's your call.
I've kept up with orientation. We'll see what they look like. Oh.
I don't even know what's happening with this Jeep.
Well, I'm gonna leave that there till I get cleaner. So now we got.
Say, what do they give a?
And that's pretty good.
Don't look terrible.
Oh, my floor.
You stepped in it.
That's why I said sometimes I'll let them sit for like a week if I can schedule something. Get that cleaned up. It's gonna be okay.
I don't even think I'd have done that. I'd just blow it off with an air hose.
Probably. Okay. 3. I'm in a tight spot.
One thing Dex won't tell you, be mindful of the rod journal, because even if they are scored or whatever, if you put one indentation on there, that will chew up a bearing.
Oh yeah, I mean, stuff like that. People's gonna be way more
Careful than you're
me.
doing.
Yes, but
And that's general on anything. Is it number 4?
I don't know. It's being a booger.
Sure sounds like it.
It's gotta. There we go.
Misaligned.
I don't watch much stuff, but I feel like me and a newcomer are relatively on the same page. I know he builds more exotic stuff than I do, but just his mentality and the internet's wrong and don't overthink this and that kind of sense. Have you ever noticed that?
I have.
He's smart. He knows exactly what he's doing. I mean,
I think he understands that at the end of the day, these are 19. We'll call it like 1940s technology.
basically.
I mean,
That's what's so funny is people brag on what's called a straight 6. And to be honest, I think the 4.0 is probably the worst straight 6 ever built.
it really is.
I hate to say it that way. They're known for pistons, known for rod bearings, cam bearings, cracked heads. Like I don't even know much.
Flat tappets. That's what I was telling Dex the other day. I said how you explain it? I don't know if Ford, but I know Chevrolet, if you wanted to take the lifters,
They got the side cover.
they got the side covers. They
Yeah.
never had it on these. So I mean,
Cummins, they got the side cover. You can take the change your lifters, whatever you got to do. Now we get to see.
I don't know what that was.
It'll be alright.
There they are.
There they are. I'm worried this one's gonna have a buzz to it, but worried that it's just gonna be a wrist pin. Somebody's gonna be like, oh, it's not actually a piston. Number 1. Inspect. I don't see a crack. I think it's gonna be probably number 3 or 4. Remember how crappy those cylinders looked?
Mm-hmm.
So now, I'm just gonna sit it down and stack this right on there so I don't screw up. We can do them in order.
Yep. Number 2.
2. Usually it's right along in there. It's gonna have a cracked piston. I know it is. That was too much of a noise.
This is completely unscripted.
I thought about writing a script. It's hard writing a script. I tried it on one video. What is that? No. It may just simply be a piston slap, I guess would be the word.
Mm-hmm.
What we mean by piston slap is this right here is wore off, so the piston's sitting there just rocking.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
There's a little bit of play in there, yeah.
Just listen. So you think of that when it gets hot and the oil gets thinned out, the piston's pushing up and down. That could be a noise. That's what it's saying. It's wild. It's everything to do with these pistons, and people want to not think it is because they don't want to have to be doing what I'm doing. But wait, what time did I start?
4 o'clock.
No.
We started at 3:30.
We started this scene at 4. Golly. I'm gonna say that's what it is. Piston slap combination. I mean, it's going to run in this video and it's going to be quieter, or we'll have to delete this whole video.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say for $12, I'm going to go with new rod bearing because that one's missing. I don't know which top or bottom and stuff like that. So that's supposed to be black coating all right there. There went a rod bearing.
Heard that. Is that a crack right there? Nope.
Mm-mm.
No, just where it transitions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, one left.
Well, Justin said number 6, but
said it could be.
could be.
But seeing that ain't none of these other ones cracked, my hopes ain't up.
Mm-mm. Oh, I thought I saw it. So yeah, at this point it doesn't matter. That's wild that these ain't cracked.
It really
But
is.
if it got run hot, crack the head, that's what I say. That's when these usually crack, is they'll run hot, get these really hot, they'll cool off. Stuff I can't explain. So if I put a head on this and got it running.
Another thing I want to point out is like you gotta understand. I'm looking at these and I think I see what I'm looking at here.
The bevel?
The bevel is going down.
You can't see that.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
You gotta sit here and think. This piston is in this motor. Who knows how hot it is? This little bitty thin piece is what's keeping it from rocking back and forth. Can you?
Yeah.
I thought I could see that.
I've never paid attention. And a new piston is actually shaped like this. Am I not right?
No, a new piston is bigger down here than it is up here.
Because
this expands.
This gets hotter up here. This stays cooler.
Yeah.
So they pre-do it. That's what I think one time before we did my stroker, I couldn't, the pistons was something, and I went to drop it in, and it wouldn't start. I was like, holy crap. So anyways, not that we can't do no more education than that. We're just time to put new pistons in.
We know the piston's cracked.
Yeah.
By this point.
Justin has a dumpster full of them. So next step is honing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I knew we'd be getting to this part. We'll do this off camera. Oh, I did an entire video. What I just said, I used to do cheap work, and for the longest, until Justin had a machine shop, I never even thought about honing. I didn't care. And finally, I was going to do a video to kind of help people want to do this. And my mom actually drives it. She's drove it now for, God, over a year.
She's still driving it.
I'll link the video below if I don't forget, but I did like a ball hone on 10. I did a ball hone ride. I did this hone. I did the crappy ones, the flat one. If you got one of these, I wouldn't even waste your time. I think I might have threw it away.
Just a standard.
Yeah, not a ball hone. It's just the one you get from a parts store. Pretty sure I did throw it away. And oh yeah, I was dreaming what I need to say in the video. There it is. Don't buy one of them. That kind of hone right there. Mm-hmm. I sit there and tried. But I'll go ahead and spoil the results of the video. I did all the different hones. I mean, some of them was just minutely different PSIs. The thing runs fine. So, do you have to hone? No. But that's what I was going to say. Exactly what you just told me. It's going to be confusing. But this part being smaller when it's new, this right here is so thin on the 4.0s. If you try to go down, by the time it gets there, it'll actually pull this down inside of it. Have you ever done that?
I generally use these more on like larger pistons and all that. These work just fine for.
These work much better. They'll hook on the block and won't go down inside of there with it.
Yeah.
Mine.
I'm sure there's better brand. That's just from O'Reilly's right there.
That's just.
I need to get me one that's actually name brand.
They don't make the sleeve professional ones. So now we are honing professionally.
Sure. Do y'all want to see this part?
Probably not. Ball hone. I remember what Justin bought me 2 of them, and one of them's kind of overkill, but I like it.
I was like, the one that I used one last is probably still gonna have a little bit of oil on it. I bet it's that one. I think it is that one. I knocked the high spots off for you.
This is the one that just barely fits, ain't it?
No, it fits pretty well.
See.
Okay.
I mean, that's probably ideal, but I like the other one.
You like the other one?
It's fast.
I have been using one. Is for a 4-inch bore. It's a heavy duty hone, and I don't remember does it tell on the box what that's for? They don't make one for.
They don't measure the size too. They're right.
Yeah, they don't measure the size. Well, you order it for the size that you're trying to do, but this is not gonna be 3.875. It's gonna be larger than that.
4 1/4, so you got pressure.
Yep.
So if you're gonna hone, definitely a ball hone. I don't know. They're not that expensive, are they?
No, they're not bad.
I wish somebody had rented one because you're gonna use it like one time. But if it was between a no hone and the one from AutoZone, the little parts store, I would not even mess with hone unless she was trying to get something out of there.
Too fast.
Yeah. So squirt oil all around there. And this is about all you do. I'm sure there's some scientific way and pressure and this, but
just go to town on it. It'll be fine.
yeah, it will, I promise. You have my certification guarantee that it's going to be okay. So that was about, what, 15 seconds?
Wipe it off and look at it, and if you don't like it, go more. I've been in Dex's shop for a day and a half now, and I feel like I'm not in my shop anymore.
Feel like
I mean, that looks a whole lot better.
yeah. I'm going to hit it one more time, see if we can get a little of that black stuff that you can't see. Swap sides just for no reason.
Oh yeah. But see all that is that's where the top ring comes up right there.
Yeah.
And actually, it's probably just where it's been sitting.
Yeah, a little surface rust. We'll give it one more little go, and then
And say, you want to cut this seam probably?
I think so. That's
We're going to do the same thing to the rest of them,
and then get this deck clean, and that's about it. So yeah, we'll pick you back up. And we're going to 4:16.
4:16.
Am I really 16 minutes into the?
You're 16 minutes to where you're at right now. We'll be right back. What'd you say?
That's good.
About wore out.
I know it don't look like much, but holding this all the way over here, I broke the sweat.
I was like, yeah, y'all can't tell, but the humidity level in here today is pretty right.
It's election day. Remember that. I don't know where you live. Or yesterday. Or today.
Yep.
I'm gonna spray this. I'm gonna spray it with soapy water, get the rocks cleaned off. Meant to say use oil. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but transmission fluid. I don't even know what kind of oil that is. Just
something. A lot of people use WD-40. Just something to lubricate the cylinders up. And like he said, wash your dingleberry thing off when you get done. Back at it again. 426.
These things I use for body work, I go dip in my parts washer, or if you just had brake cleaner, and that's what I use. And like, it's not gonna look 100% clean when you get done, but as long as you just feel across it and everything feels good, that's all that matters. And then the head gaskets, if MLS is in your budget, I like them, but if MLS is not, there's some on eBay or Amazon that's like $9, which you'll see in a second. I've been using them for as long as I could tell you.
I still stand behind what I say. MLS is really good gasket for clean surfaces. I feel like the old school carbon gaskets seem to adhere to uneven surfaces better, in my opinion.
Yeah, and a 4.0 is going to be the absolute most unlevel motor out there, just because it's so long. So yeah.
Me personally, I tell you, just invest in a good Velcro or.
Yeah, I was going to say just the cheaper one probably works better because it's just softer, junky material.
You're right.
That's that.
It's just not going to hold up to heat as well as the MLS is going to hold up.
4.0 runs hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like MLS come along and boosted world. That way you can slip a head gasket and keep on going along, or blow it, seep it, whatever the word I'm looking for. So now, before you clean it, be sure and blow your holes out. What did I do? I've got to blow it.
Right here. Or.
I need to get that screen working in the parts washer. You see the yellow one?
Oh, I did see it somewhere.
Right there.
Right there.
Be sure and do this. It's funny, I was watching my video from why the Ford taps. The video is so old. It's not good, but it was good. But it's funny. It's like I'm saying the exact same things I said in that video.
Mm-hmm.
This one goes into water, and that's why I messed up an old video. I wasn't thinking, and I blew it, and it blew after it.
After you got every one of them?
I did every one of them. I saved it for last. So just hold your rag around there. Probably
got me.
I think it's at the forehead. But if you already cleaned your block, right now you'd be getting it dirty.
Oh, it's on the camera too. You didn't get it on the lens though.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's two reasons he's doing it. Obviously, you need to blow the holes out so your bolt goes in there, but somebody mentioned something the other day I never thought of. You literally just seen the coolant come out of here. It was water. So if you get water in here, obviously water won't compress. You can bust the bottom of the block. But another thing is I didn't ever think about, is now you have water in there, has nowhere to go. And when it freezes,
Oh, wow.
it busts the block also.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's what a dude had a rocker arm. The bolt had broke off in flush, and I was like, there's no way. The rocker arm on the head, we gotta get some rocker arm. But I was like, I guarantee you it's full of oil. They was trying to torque it down, and it sheared it off. Because why else would that bolt break off?
Right.
Now we're gonna get some paper towels. If you're wanting to afford, rags, that's probably better. But I would use about a full can of brake cleaner, especially on your crankshaft. Get up in the holes, because you just produced a lot of metal. Trying to get rid of that metal, but 4.0 ain't real particular. I can see it going away. Some dude had make a brake cleaner extension tool. It's
So
like
you can put it where you want it.
You can hold the can over here and you can hold a hose over there.
That's pretty neat.
Making sure those are clean. We'll get them oiled back up. That one we're just gonna hope it's clean.
It looks clean from here.
I don't even see no reason to wipe them out, do you? Well, I think Justin was the one that taught me this. Let's take a clean rag. My hands are dirty. Let's go to this one. Probably gonna pull more oil off my hands. That's wild.
Yeah.
Justin was the one to tell me, he's like, just because it looks clean don't mean it is clean.
Right.
Again, it's a 4.0, it's not particular. Give it just a little wipe.
Generally in my shop, you'll do honing, blah, 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 all this, and you get done. I use what's called a clean out brush. And all the little, like, it looks clean right now, but in those little grooves right there holds dirt and grinding stone and metal and all that.
It's just tucked away in this neat little hole there.
Yep. In which the rings will eventually get rid of it, but...
Oh, yeah. Where's your fire hose? I'm going to try that one day. So now that's ready to go. I'm trying to think. We need to go up, clean our crankshaft, get it ready to go, right?
Yes. And you've already got this gasket material mostly off.
If your gasket's original, this little stuff right here, you're going to cry trying to get it off there. I use basically a chisel. It's a wood chisel. And get it the perfect angle and you can tap and it will just keep jumping along there. But you ain't scraping that crap off. You can see they just give up right there.
Yeah. Usually a wire brush on a...
Well, the internet tells you not to use a wire brush. So
wire brush won't hurt.
4.0 block.
No. The little whiz wheels, they will, but wire brush is not going to hurt a cast iron block.
Look at there. Look at there. Got it off there. Yep.
I mean, I guess if you sit there and hold a wire brush in the same spot for 5 minutes, it'll probably do it, but...
I don't see it happening, man. So now you'd have wires hanging around all that everywhere. Looks good to me, of course. It's common sense. I'm going to raise it up, and then I'm going to show you where we'll clean there. We'll go back down, and we'll start installing those.
Back on the lift again.
All right, so now, again, just going to plan on using a full thing of brake cleaner. Just the crankshaft.
I'm going to stand back here.
Yeah. especially the journals up in the holes, because all that honing stuff just fell right on it. So just clean it to your liking, I guess is the word I'd use. Justin's out of the danger zone. Where'd the pine needle come from?
Up top.
Probably. So all of them look decent. Now I'm gonna roll it around. I don't even need a wrench. I can spin her by hand.
Hope so.
Oh, yeah. Timing chain, I highly, personally, just don't recommend messing with it. People continue to argue with me, but they're all gonna have slack. I've never seen one jump time. Never seen one stretch too much that matters. And whatever you buy to go back in place of it is gonna be lesser quality than what you had before. So, just my 2 cents. It ain't never gonna get perfect because every time
Yeah.
leaking out of the crankshaft, that's nasty stuff. I mean, that's what I just said. They're not clean, but as soon as you fire it up, that stuff's gonna come right back out of the crankshaft anyway. So, we'll let her drip, and I'll give them a little wipe down, and we'll go from there. I think it's all till we go back together, ain't it?
Believe so.
Wipe me down, wipe me down.
We said we wasn't gonna cut this video, but there's so many
That's what I was thinking about, like cleaning the oil pans. Like, nobody wants to see me clean the oil pan. I'm pretty sure that. I could be wrong. Somebody would watch it, I know, but you just want to see what you need to see, and then that's it.
Yeah,
Man, you can just spin that with your finger. Did you see that?
I did.
Just wiping it off.
All right, well, Dex is gonna wipe on the crankshaft, and then it's gonna be a little bit more shiny, and then we'll come back and we'll be putting pistons in.
What time is it?
4:37.
So we're an hour. We got to keep up. How long did we work yesterday?
An hour. And literally an hour on the dot.
Okay.
And we ain't been in a hurry today.
No. The only thing, go back together, like cleaning stuff, just so it kind of takes up a lot of time. So.
Yep.
Anyways, we'll pick you up in just a second. Probably about 2 minutes, to be honest.
Yep.
All right. So now we got the piston. We're gonna line that up. Line that up, just give or take. Slap this baby over there. I try not to make sure this gap is around a ring gap, I guess be the word. Justin said use a table.
Yeah, use the table. It works better.
So now we're going to do that. Should be good. Lock goes driver's side. Flat side goes driver's side. If those don't match up, your machinist did it wrong, or in this case. And then I've got the crankshaft at BDC. It's at the very bottom. Just works better that way. And then they do have arrows that points forward, so you can see the little arrow. So now it's tight, like I was just talking about earlier. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So now Justin said a wood hammer works slightly better.
A wooden handled hammer.
Yeah. There we go. Clean it, make sure it's up to motor standards. Be sure and hold pressure on the little tool here. There we go. It's kind of how you say it. If you hit hard, your bearing's gonna fall out. If you don't hit hard enough, it don't go fast enough. So
Right.
just try to.
I've seen it, like old people doing videos. They'll tap all the way around it, get everything ready, and then they'll just go bam,
Bam. Oh, if you've seen, I'm trying to twist it around just a little bit. You can kind of hold pressure and then kind of hit just at an angle, and just keep on tapping her down till you'll hear it. Sounds solid. So let's try number 6, and then we'll go up, tighten them down, and then we'll do 2, 3, and 4 off camera probably. So don't forget that is the front one. Lock on that side. Just make sure we don't miss nothing.
Don't forget to put a little oil on it.
Oh yeah,
The piston.
piston. Where'd it go?
Right there in.
Oh wow, I thought it was in my shirt. So Somebody wouldn't like this, but I always just tap on the rod in there. It'll fall through. So now we need rod bearings. Lock. Justin did good. He critiqued himself when he first started. And he's like, no, I've got it. And then you messed up 2 or 3 more times, and then you don't do it no more.
I don't mess up on them no more.
Well, you can't explain a V8.
A V8 will confuse the living crap out of you.
I don't even
Especially like, I'm not picking on Fords or anything, but see, Ford's firing order will confuse you. Like, yeah.
We're working on a 4.0 today. It's an easy motor. 2.5 is even easier than a 4.0.
Imagine that.
A little less motor. So make sure those are evenly covered. Pretty common sense. I bring my tool back over here, did I?
Get you a little oil on the piston.
Oil. More's probably better, but it'd be alright.
More is better.
Yeah. That's what I watched Dave's Auto Center, and they was with that engine oil guy.
Yeah, try something.
On the table?
Leave it sitting right there. Now just slide.
Let's check my rings first.
Yeah.
Justin thinks rings spin. I don't know.
Rings spin. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't even care, to be honest. They run. So that it's just harder to see. I know what you're trying to say, but it's just hard to. Justin's got a flat metal table, so I know what you're trying to do.
This is flat too.
I know it's got dirt. I just seen dirt on the piston.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you about the rag too.
Had a little dirt on there. You'll be alright.
That's what exhaust valves are for.
Get rid of dirt.
Yep.
I've always wondered that. That's what they preach, air filter and stuff. I just wonder how quick it's moving through the cylinder if it even has time to stick to the, the cylinder wall.
I doubt it.
I doubt it either. Ain't no way to prove it, but again, we're gonna hold pressure. Trying to make sure it's all down.
Ran in a circle. Yep. Back forth. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
Again, make sure it's straight. Just keep going down gently. If you can push, it'll go with your hand.
Be careful pushing.
Alright, there we go. God, it's stretched way out there.
I don't know if Dex believe me or not. Like I have the hammer, the soft hammer or whatever to drive them in, but like a wooden handled hammer just seems to work better because it's metal on metal and yeah.
Just more of a push than a soft blow.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lift it up and probably cut this thing and we'll show what we do next. So now we've lifted the Jeep up. If you're on the ground, this is honestly easier on the ground. You can work off a stool, get under there. Make sure the bearing, I don't know if you can get in the camera, make sure it's flush on both sides. If not, just take you a flathead, poke, kind of make sure all that's good.
Yep.
Then I wiped it off. Now we're going to not get these mixed up. It's huge. Do not get them mixed up. It may be so close that you don't even know, and it have the rod bearing like tightened all down. Yeah, it's dripping water still. So we're gonna do that, and first torque spec. We'll just use a little impact probably.
Yep. I think I figured out my 1/4 inch impact. I think it torques to like 30 foot-pounds.
Yeah, this is a 12 volt, so it's probably only gonna do like 12, 15.
Yep.
We'll do them all at the same time. That's that. Again.
A good practice if you're not plastic aging or doing anything like that. Every time you torque one down, see if it turns.
Yep, I was going to explain that. Like,
well, I guess you kind of have to.
It's if you're doing them in sequence, like 1 and 6 and 2 and 4, 3 and whatever I'm trying to say. Yeah. If you do them both, you can catch it. So like right now, they're reasonably torqued. I'll just take a wrench, even though I don't have to go that far. Like next step is what is it? 2 and 5.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and go like, well, that's far enough. It's gonna turn.
Yeah.
So get 2 and 5 on BDC, and we'll clean it up, drop it down. Feel like y'all got that part took care of. Just don't mix anything up. And then get all these semi-torqued, and then we'll come back and I'll show you fully torquing.
Yeah. He does it the same way I do it. I get them all started, and then I wait till the very end to torque all of them. That way I don't forget.
Mark them with a marker. I know somebody's like, oh, I ain't gonna forget to torque them. It happens.
How many have you seen before?
I hope maybe in a second I got time to tell the story. It's a pretty good story, but yeah, I'm gonna get those knocked out, and then we'll go to the next step from there. It's 5 on the dot. So we worked an hour and a half, right, from start to finish.
Today?
Yeah,
Yeah, today.
And we're fixing to eat supper, so I'll pick you back up. We'll figure it out. All right, it's made Justin do the crappy job, and then it's basically 5:30. Not exactly 5:30, but we're gonna call it 5:30 just to keep a easy track of time. Oh, I guess I gotta show you. They're still. I didn't lie. They're not there. The pistons are still laying right there. 526. Before I threw the last piston in, see all that Teflon or whatever that black stuff is? It's just all missing. Probably where a lot of the noise comes from. We've only been at it 15 minutes.
Yep.
Alright, so now it's loose. I just do these, well, we'll do 1 and 6. Still got the girdle off there. This is a new torque wrench. 33?
33.
33. I wonder how many 100 times I've done this right here. Somebody probably gonna comment about the long extension. It works, I don't really know. Got a back and forth. Double check them. What was I going? There's one thing we forgot to say. When you get here, show them the rings. So yeah, after I torqued it, I'm just gonna make sure it's gonna move freely. I'm gonna go ahead and do number 6.
What are we showing them on the rings?
A guy messaged me the other day about the rings. I don't know if he threw the box away.
Oh, okay.
But the top ring, how it doesn't matter, and it's usually, if there's any markings, it's the second ring.
I don't have a way to show it unless I open up another box. Pretty much the top ring is either going to be completely square and or have a dot on the top. The second ring usually is like sloped on the inside, and it'll have a dot on the top, and then the oil rings, y'all can figure that out.
Okay, so I torque number 6, it still moves, so keep on going. I think that's all they need to see at this point, ain't it?
Pretty much.
Justin's got to go find us some rocker arms and push tubes, unless we want to use them.
I got plenty of push tubes.
So check that.
Oh no! It dented the floor.
Shh. Nobody cares. Not saying I'm a sloppy mechanic, but if you just don't, I don't know, it just seems to work better. So now number 5. Just give it a little snug on there. Snug on both sides. Just keep going. I'm not necessarily saying you have to go back and forth. It just seems like that would be the proper thing to do.
It is.
Alright.
Alright, I'm going to go find some rocker arms and some better looking push tubes.
Yeah, I mean, we could use them if that's all you got, but if you got some better ones, go. I guess I need that. Alright, he'll be back in a second.
Dex asked if I was videoing everything at this point. Well, yeah, I'm videoing everything. What you got in your hand there?
Used oil pump. Justin cleaned the screen out. Where did that bolt go?
That way, if it stops up, he can blame it on me.
Yeah, I knew what I was doing.
What are you looking for? That bolt. I just set this on top of it.
Oh, there it is. Single bolt. Usually, like the red stuff I was using, I pour down this hole. Especially if you're doing a new. I don't recommend a new one, but
yeah, it's pumping it backwards right now.
It just takes up some air gaps and makes it prime a little better. And let's see. Try to line this up. This goes that way and then that way. The other day I got in a hurry and I broke these off, so be careful about just shoving it up in there. But got a new gasket. Yeah, make sure it falls down the hole. Got the girdle put back on. Oh, pretty common sense stuff there. And then I can't tell if it's going or not. I think it is.
You want a gun?
Where's that little quarter drive? I think these torque like.
It's a weird, like the long one is
20.
No, the long one's like 17 and the short one's like.
No, the long one's 23 and the short one's 17.
Okay.
feel right.
So that one was clogged up or something.
If I broke the oil pump, y'all just witnessed it.
Is this the part where we repeat what you said 3 times
Yeah,
in the video?
Maybe that's it. No, I did. I just screwed up. Wow, we caught that on camera.
What happened?
I don't think I had it seated and I crammed it off in there.
Did you break it?
Probably. After you just spent all that time cleaning on it.
Uh-huh.
I didn't break. It don't get much grab on that.
Making sure it wasn't broke.
Okay, so pull the bolts back. This one's just all crusty.
Yeah, it's all crusty.
There's that. So put my bolts back through. Try to find home better this time. There we go.
Yeah, that was much better.
I seen the distributor move with it. Got lucky there.
Definitely.
I feel like there could be a better setup than that, but what do I know? I just work on Jeeps. Sound about like 17, 23. So what's next? So let's go ahead and get the oil pan on. Need my ratchet strap back, don't I? No?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, because you struggled to get it out.
Alright. Yeah, I had to take my ratchet strap off because of the control arm. Let's see if I can make this happen.
That, and you'll probably have to ratchet strap the axle forward again.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I found the video of me where I ratchet strap it and it falls and hits the ground. Make sure that's out of the way. So now you gotta put Permatex in this little hole here, this little where the main cap meets the block, and then
These
put
two.
Permatex where the timing cover meets on both sides. I don't know if I've got Permatex out.
Somebody didn't even closely line that up.
I've seen that.
Mm-mm.
Oh, can I smear that
If you're wondering what I'm talking about, these timing covers, you're supposed to get it lined up with the hole, obviously, and then try to get these as close to flush as you can.
Yeah, when I'm putting them on, I always like to put my finger underneath it and hold it. And you're supposed to install the balancer and then pull it back off and then tighten it. It's kind of weird. I don't know many people is probably going to do that.
Justin developed a cheat code.
I got a cheat code that's better than Justin's.
What's that?
I put the balancer on like a quarter of the way where the seal, and then I reach behind and use a little wrench, and then you go ahead and install it the rest of the way.
Mine slides on by hand.
Okay, so now if you see I've got the blue things on right there. If you ain't got these, go buy you a Felpro gasket. They screw in the big holes, slide the gasket up on there, and you can slide the oil pan. It'll get a little tricky with the oil pan because some way I don't remember exactly, but
It'll go on there.
it'll go in there. It just has to wiggle it in there. Where's that used gasket at?
I ain't seen no gasket anywhere.
I need that.
A used one? You ain't got a new one nowhere?
I didn't lay that back, did I?
I didn't see it out there.
I think it is.
I wasn't exactly looking for a used gasket while I was out there.
I just lay it on the ground.
No. Who uses a used gasket?
It looked dirty, but it'd be alright. Yeah. One time, I did an oil pan gasket, and it leaked. I guess the pan had been dropped or bent or something. Let's see, I don't think I got a new one. And I just took and like hit it with a chisel and rebent it, and it quit leaking. So there's always a wheel away. I think oil pans. The only one I ain't got. No.
I don't think I've got one over there either. Might have one.
That don't work. If it leaks, it's just
it's gonna have to. What's even wrong with it?
well, it's all chewed up in that area right there.
I just put a little Permatex on it.
I don't like putting permatex because it makes it slick. So let's hook the front over the axle. Try to keep it clean. Just kidding.
That is a thing about rubber on metal gaskets or on metal. Put too much Permatex on there, it'll push the gasket out. It acts as a lubricant.
Yep. I've seen that a time or two.
I was building a big block, and you either use the intake plenum gasket or you just use a big thing of Permatex. I was like, I'm gonna try the gasket one time. It pushed the gasket out after I got everything together. Like literally, hadn't even run the motor yet, and it pushed the gasket out.
Everything looked good. I got an oil pump. I hadn't tried to spin it since. Did it do it again? You kidding me?
Locked up.
What?
Man.
Well, glad I caught it. I don't know what it's doing.
There ain't no way it's on the. Try to turn it down. What is this?
You know, I thought number 6 torqued funny, but I feel like I've spun it since then. This could be interesting.
These are the normal problems you're gonna run into. Not really.
What the heck?
I don't know on that one. I went and got push tubes. I don't know what happened between then and then.
So, unless I got 3 and 4 mixed up, because they was laying side by side, and that's the last ones I torqued. Pretty sure that's the last ones I torqued. The camera makes a fool out of me, but it's probably more fun on y'all to watch.
You didn't possibly get it backwards, did you?
It ain't that one.
All of my marks should be facing forward. Can you tell?
Yeah, those are forward.
They're all forward.
That's the only ones I could have mixed up.
Oh.
That's it. Dexter made a mistake.
That was number what?
3 and 4. I had them laid out, and I guess just, I don't know, I just messed up. But luckily I decided to try to spin it. What if I swap them out and it don't fix it?
It probably will. There's not too many things that can go wrong on what you're doing here. Everything's supposed to line back up the way it's supposed to line back up.
So them are brand new, so I don't have to keep it
I was like, make sure it's not. It is.
lock on lock.
Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I was missing the lock there. So you just go ahead and swap it. Does it look like it's scratching a little bit?
Yep. See, it's already got scratch marks. So
Yeah.
probably the wrong one. How do you explain what's actually going wrong? They're casted and then
They're not even really casted. They're casted and they're cut. These in particular are casted and then literally cut apart. And if you pay attention, I think they even mix the caps up at the factory because none of them ever match up to the outsides. So I think they just put them together and then they hone them on their machine or however they did it, and then you have
I'm like
two matching caps.
the
Newer ones are what they call fractured rods, and they physically will not go together.
wrong.
They're every two caps are completely different. That's why these are so important not to get mixed up. You're not really going to get a fractured rod mixed up.
Fractured broke rod.
Yeah.
What if I tighten this down and it still don't work out? If it's scratched already, that's guaranteed to be.
It's not guaranteed. It might have a piece of trash or something in there. Hopefully not.
See, that's usually when they're spongy like that.
See if it
Was these core rods? Golly, this is gonna suck. I didn't mix them up then.
Yeah, these were
There was
core rods.
I hate to put the camera down, but we gotta figure this out.
Alright. Alright, so tell them what you did.
The camera makes a fool out of me. I get in a rush. I'm thinking of what I need to say, not what I need to actually do. So the other day, I've actually got another video coming up. The Jeep we drive back and forth. It's rod knocking. So I was going to pull it down, plastic gauge, regular bearings, and 1/1000 under.
There they are.
I found the bearings I was looking for. I told you. I had a set of engine techs right there. I told you.
It says STD on the side of it.
So,
Guess what Dex gets to do?
I get to change rod bearings. Oh, it's going to throw our time off so bad. Dang, we was on a roll too. Anytime something's going good, something's bound to go wrong. So this is it. But luckily we caught it because.
Yeah.
But what's weird is the rest of them spin great. So
That's just
the engine stuff.
that you're probably right now if you'd have ran them if those two, where's my finger, if they had allowed it just enough to turn, that's what these are probably doing.
Yeah.
It probably, I wouldn't say it would have ate itself up, but it would have probably not been good.
I think you'd have crunk it up, it'd have spun over, and it'd have been fine ever since.
More than likely.
But that's just me.
I mean, your normal clearances on this stuff is like 1.5, 3/1000. Dex is probably at about
none.
That's
what I'm pretty sure I said in the first video. Is the cores we get back, I was stressing over putting them back in the right order. I was wrong. But I make sure Justin keeps up with those and make sure I use them in my personal project because I do not want to be sending out somebody that's mixed them up. So.
Regardless, I check all of them.
Okay.
But other than these, which is not even relevant, but every one of them I check and make sure they're round. Put it that way. Simple terms.
All right, then. Well,
I think we're probably going to cut the camera once again because
I'm sorry for dragging the video out. I just made a mistake, but I'm trying to do a lot more good than the one mistake, I guess is the word I'll use.
So pretty much what he's going to do is knock them up just enough that he can slide the bearings out and then slide the new ones in and
try again. Y'all be here on that portion of it.
Yeah, that's what he's about to do.
It's going to run tonight, though. It's going to run. I got confidence.
Okay. So
makes for good video, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know, but we tried standard rods in all form or fashion we could. The only thing proper to do at this point is to do it right is to pull them all back out, put rods in them, torque them down, and like we'll show you when you get there. But if the caps are off-centered or whatever, well, Justin will have to mic them.
I'm going to mic them and make sure that they're round and the same right size, and then
these was the cord, and I hope the guy's not watching because I feel bad. But I mean, I feel like you should have known that. But these are some of the pistons I originally sold a long time ago. So now I started leaving a note in there, but God, it sucks. But it could be worse. We could have put the motor back together. And yeah.
So we're gonna take them back out and measure the caps and see if we can figure out, because there's how many, was 6 times 6, what's that?
Well,
I was like, how many different combinations can they be mixed up?
I don't know if it's, anyways, I don't change the story, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Luckily, yeah. Okay, I apologize. This is not supposed to be the video. Y'all know I'm not the type to run the camera there. Here. So we've got this fancy tool, and I don't know if my camera will zoom in or get in there. Shine a light. See that little, I don't know if the camera's showing up. They're ground different, so that's one of our problem child of that one. And then number 2 is funny too.
I'm thinking these two are swapped.
But this one was locking up. but this one was locking up by itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna add that in. We're trying to get it. We'll just have to use the mic, figure it out, and do that. 'Cause that's what he said. Unless the customer got them mixed up with his own, I don't think it's possible. Those are a set of rods, but as far as the selling aspect, if I'm gonna have to do this every single time, I'm losing money selling the rods. So if you're buying them, please take care of them. We'll be back.
Somebody done touched the camera with their greasy hands.
Probably would have been me.
So we think we got the dilemma squared away. It was mainly two caps mixed up.
Mixed up, and that's what, I don't want to sound like a Nancy, but it's what I just said. For that hour and a half dilemma, what just cost us for what I made off the rods didn't work out. So it's like, I don't want to be strict and I don't want to be pointing fingers and stuff, but if this is going to be a ongoing process, I think y'all see what I'm saying. So,
Well, not only that, like I told Dex, these are some we literally took apart, put some pistons on, and I generally check every single one of these that go through the system, and these technically didn't go through the system.
Which is okay. I'm a low budget customer. I don't really pay top premium price, so I get it. But
he really doesn't.
But there's a lot of benefit packages for Justin too. He's getting a free WJ, so you know.
I ain't seen it yet.
With a bad motor.
Yeah, with a bad motor that's going to use coolant.
Got him.
It's just gonna, every time I stop to put gas in, I'm going to put coolant in it.
We're gonna keep adding stop leak till it fixes itself. So.
Yeah, it'll fix itself.
Let me get back to where we was. I think we was fixing to bolt the oil pan. I bet the Permatex is about dry by now, ain't it?
Oh God, I forgot about that.
I figure it would just be kind of dry on the surface, but it probably.
Oh, it takes it a while to dry out in the open.
In the open it does. So let me get these tightened down. We'll next thing be on the oil pan. We'll keep moving forward. We're gonna get this thing running tonight.
We are?
Unless something else happens. That's what I told Justin. I was like, you know, look on the bright side of things. What if I'd put the head back on and all that stuff? We had took the head back off, so
Yep.
things happen. Just gotta watch out for them.
I told Dex his concrete hurts worse than my concrete, so I'm sitting down and videoing.
Sitting down, yep. So now we've got everything ready. Motor spins over. Got to pull the axle back forward. Get ready for the oil pan. Over the sway bar. This ain't even how I did it last time.
It's not, but I think it's going to work better.
It is. It's actually pushing on the top of the axle. That actually works better.
Hold up. The bushing. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
Oil pan.
Didn't see nothing. I personally cleaned that.
It's a little still dirty, but it's going on the Jeep. This is funny that when you're going up through here, you gotta watch the transmission lines. They just pain in the butt.
I'm just gonna back up and watch him.
Yeah, just stand there. Tell me if you see anything. The blue things.
The blue things are in the way.
Oh, it's got this stupid big stabilizer.
Oh, that's.
See that thing right there?
Yeah.
It's like a huge one. If I can get it in there.
You may have to take.
Alright, this may actually work better. So now the transmission lines over. We gotta level out. Watch the front little blue thingies. That's what it is. Go ahead and click it in where it can't fall.
You're still under the transmission line here.
Well, I got it. The starter makes you have to. It's weird. Probably if you was at home, I would probably just take the starter off. It makes the thing go over here, and you can't line it up with the blue thing.
I generally take the starter off for what it's worth.
You get your finger in there. I think I can reach my finger around back here. Make it slide.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what he's doing.
Okay, so now it's hanging out. Best thing to do is find your bolts. That's your best thing. And remember, reverse order of what I did. Find you 2 small ones with the stud right there. Don't fall, don't fall. And then I'm just gonna push up on it.
About the center one,
About
kinda.
the center. And see if we can find metal. Just barely get it started. And then same thing on this side. Be sure and don't put a stud where my knuckle is. I don't know if you can see. Right here, that's going to hit the upper cross member. So
Yeah.
now I've got that. Pretty much all your studs will be from here forward, unless you're on a WJ, there'll be like one right in here. But anything back from there will be regular bolts. And then I think you got it from there. These just screw back out now. And then hang your transmission line. So let me get that took care of. We'll essentially done under here other than exhaust, and I'll try to think of how the best way to do them right there is, and we'll get back with you. Don't be showing them that. Shh, don't tell nobody. Oh, you can see what I do right here. Don't get them super tight. Get them all started because it'll, what's the word I'm looking for? Was all these stripped?
Don't forget that one right there is stripped, I believe.
Okay, yeah, I just pushed it off in there. But get them all started before you go tighten them down, because your luck, you'll get them all in there tight, and then one of them won't start. So
Yeah.
been there, done that for sure. But other than that, pretty self-explanatory.
So we don't know yet if this is going to work, but I'm pretty sure it will. This one has dowel pins.
I know it'll work because my turbo Jeep over there's got a 7120 on it.
Okay. And this is 7120. It does not have the dowel pins.
See that open just void right there? There's supposed to be a dowel pin right here.
Yeah, this is an older head going on a newer motor, so did you clean that off?
Pretty much. Man,
I somehow don't believe that.
I mean, I cleaned it earlier, but it's not like wiped me down clean.
If my head leaks, I'm blaming it on your head gasket. What is that?
Just oil, stuff, these.
Stuff that ain't supposed to be on there?
Really? Okay, so we're gonna lay the head gasket on this thing. Cheap head gasket. That's good. That's out of the way. Show them the. If you won't cut this off with a grinder, you can slip it in, or if you want to do it this way, put a zip tie, cut the zip tie.
Did you tighten that?
I did, just
Okay.
did. Put the sealant on it. Head's good to go. I personally would wait till the heads on the Jeep to put spark plugs. I know too many people that's dented the spark plug and spent forever trying to diagnose a miss when you put everything together. But it's just a dented spark plug.
Somebody's out there watching, knows who you are.
What do you
So I sold a guy a head one time. He put it on. He called me. He said, "Hey man, this thing's missing. I can't figure it out." And I was like, I said, "Does it run and drive?" He said, "Yeah." And he brought the Jeep to us, and we pulled the plugs out. He dropped one of the spark plugs.
Yep.
So remember, it's not gonna dowel pin.
Uh-oh.
You need some bolts in there.
Kind of miss the exhaust. There's ups and downs of doing it this way. Looks like the exhaust. There we go. Gotta get it just right, and then all right, let's get started.
Let's get you a couple bolts.
There's no dowel pins. You gotta really need to line it up with the bolts as they're going in, I guess is the word I'd say.
Yep.
I don't. I'm 50-50 on like lubricant on there. Except the one that goes into a water jacket. I feel like it's gotta be known. I'm just gonna use some WD-40 gel lube.
Yep.
Something better than nothing. Threads of the bolt and then the head surface there. Then remember me earlier telling you not to blow in the one that goes into a water jacket. Now let's get long bolt, short bolt, short bolt. Let's get these. See if we can get it in there. Looks pretty spot on. Usually you can look down the this AC bracket over here, the little studs on it. Oh, that's wrong bolt. And just kind of know where you need to be. I think it's in there.
Looks pretty good. Put that down a little bit.
Oh yeah.
What about that back one back there?
This one?
Yep. It looks hung.
Oh, the wire harness. So let's Get a little intact. My socket go. Just gonna make sure it's in the hole. And I mean, if you had to, you can let it down and just kind of pick it up and scoot it around. It's not ideal, but I ain't gonna say I've never done it.
Why didn't I sit down?
Well, hopefully ain't wrong about the studs. Yeah, there we go. Just tight fit against this AC bracket right here.
That and the bolts is probably not exactly straight.
No, they're not. Okay, so now we're gonna let down. Get a little slack. Can you get that off there, Justin?
Can I do what?
Can you get that strap off from the header?
I think so. You got it wrapped around?
Yeah, basically.
Oh. Of course it'd get hung up.
Justin's luck, that's the way it works.
That's just the way it works.
Chain out of the way.
I'm gonna get it here in just a second.
Sorry, I'm just moving my toolbox around.
I got it. Now it's hung on the power steering wheel. Okay.
Did you get your job done?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get the rest of the bolts. Shorty goes in the front. Shorty goes here. Long goes there. All the long ones with the studs go right down through here. Shorties go here. There. And this one's got to get perm-ticks. Or could you use
Loctite?
No. No.
Teflon?
Teflon?
I wouldn't advise it because it's supposed to seal in the threads themselves and at the top up here. So, I mean, technically you probably could, but
Yeah. And that's
every time it happens, you'll drop Teflon down in the cooler.
ironically, that one, when I get to the torque specs, I'll show you. That one torques less, and you should. And right here, I'm just going to barely run it down. Circular pattern.
Spiral pattern.
I did already torque that way back. It's common for the threads just to be rusty. You can see they're there. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. Alright. That one. Now I gotta get my zip tie out of there.
Just tighten it down, it'll go away.
Well, that is true. That's good. Act as a sealant. That's that. Now I wonder, how was I doing that one? Wiggle.
With a small.
Yeah, because remember I couldn't get it back off there?
Mm-hmm.
Need a medium shallow socket, 12 point. Oh, it's stuck and it ain't even on there. Skill. Try this.
A ratcheting wrench would be to
Try one of these wiggle extensions. There we go. Alright, now on to torque specs.
25, 45, 110.
Yep, 25, 45, 110. Let's get my favorite extension. Cheap torque wrench. You watched the torque
test channel?
where he did all the myths about these?
Probably.
About one that's been sitting in a toolbox for 6 years with a spring. Did you watch that one?
I didn't
The whole myth about resetting your torque wrench and all that. Some people had some that'd been sitting in a toolbox for 6 years. Had one that been sitting out in his yard getting rained on for all these years. And just all the stupid myths you hear, he pretty much destroyed all of them.
Yeah, it's one of them. Spring steel is a pretty resilient thing. That's what I was watching something about. Guys talking about valve springs. You know, they're supposed to be a certain tension. He said the whole myth of if you got solid rockers and it sits closed for a long, long time, it'll get weaker.
Yeah, makes sense.
He said, it was the old guy that said it. He said, if it does, he said, I've took them out before and put them on a valve spring tester. He said, if it tests a little low, he said, I'll just take it and drop it on the floor and then put it back on there, and it'll be right back where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that was the second test he did. He was talking about dropping them. He was just chunking them on the ground, beating up on them, and they still work perfect. So now we got our first round of 25. Now we're going to 45. The 110's legit.
Yeah. You never think about it. Say a spring on a vehicle, how many cycles it has to go through its whole life, and it literally, the weight of the vehicle sits on it its whole life.
For 30 years, it's been sitting, holding this vehicle off the ground. And it's still, I mean, they do
eventually
sag, I guess you'd say.
But I mean, just think of how many heat cycles and bumps in the road it's went over its entire life with weight on it its entire life.
Yeah, if you ride in my Jeep and shock bushings and hear how much time your shock's working,
yeah,
you understand. We don't need pine needles in our motor. Negative. Come on. Got that one. This one. Going together obviously takes a little longer than coming apart. You'll get to watch me struggle with a 110. That's that. What time? We started back at 7:30, right?
I believe so.
Good. Keeping all my tools out. Now I need my big socket. That one. New torque wrench. Big one. Start with a small extension. Okay. Change the scenery.
Mm-hmm. My feet's hurting.
Justin wants to sit down. I won't let him. Oh, this new long one makes it much easier.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't used it but a couple times. Ta-da. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I've bolted these on without a torque wrench before. It's probably not, what's the word?
Ideal?
Ideal, but, you know, if you can't afford a torque wrench, I don't even know if they rent torque wrenches, do they?
They should still rent torque wrenches. I don't know why they wouldn't. All the other random tools they rent, I don't know why they wouldn't rent a torque wrench. I don't know. They're getting pretty cheap either way, so.
Yeah. What was it they were saying in the parts store that they changed? They're not doing something anymore. Oh, I don't remember now. Oh, it's so ironic. I told y'all about the horseshoe intake. My website's still small. It don't sell a whole lot of stuff, but that's probably because I don't take time to put that stuff on the website because it takes a long time, but it's on there. Oh, I sold a horseshoe intake. Kind of out of sequence, but don't tell nobody.
It's a 92 model head going on a, what is this thing?
99.
It's a, oh, goodness.
Alright. Now, gotta finish that one back there. I think it fits, don't it? Pretty sure it does. Put the socket on first.
Just barely, or is it?
It won't fit. I've done this before. Oh my gosh, that's...
I think it's because they've beat on that. It looks like it's beaten down.
Yeah, let's see, what can we do? Crank it back up, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Did a little on the left side there.
There we go.
Nobody will notice.
I've seen worse. Okay, now we gotta do these short swings. Okay, now it's stuck. That's another thing he was talking about, that people was saying you can't have a right-handed torque wrench. I'm gonna put this back up. It takes a lot of room. I think you know you're gonna need a torque wrench. And another torque wrench.
Don't forget you didn't torque that one, did you?
Which one? Oh, I did.
Glad I'm here.
Yep.
The only reason I remember is because you oddly skipped it. I always reset my torque wrench on that one and then finish the rest of them up.
Yeah. So it's the one that gets 100 foot-pounds, and we've seen blocks actually crack. I can only assume due to getting over-torqued, so we sure know about that one. Mm-hmm. Now, got them all. Let's get these bolts knocked out, AC bolts. Sometimes, if you get a head that's shaved a lot, it lowers the bolt, and sometimes you have to like loosen the entire bracket. I guess just part of it. So maybe we get in there.
Pretty sure I wrote on this one how much I took off. Probably not a lot. That's what, ironically, these older, like early 90s heads, generally speaking, most of them are always in very good shape. I don't know why. I feel like the cylinder walls wear out quicker than the heads do on them. That, or they get run hot.
Yeah, that's very common. That's that. Ratchet wrench fits in there, but it's rubbing against it, and it gets so tight I can't use it. That's that. What's going to be next? Well, I always try to seal the motor up.
I would say put spark plugs in probably next.
Yeah. Well, spark plugs are the rocker arms. You should find me some.
I got you some dirty ones.
Like dirty as I'm using them, or dirty as them?
No, they're fine. They're just oily.
Okay. Well, everything in the motor was oily.
I would blow through the push rods.
Yeah.
Before I used them.
Spark plugs or rocker arms?
Spark plugs.
Okay. Just ordered a bunch of spark plugs the other day. I say a bunch, I ordered a bunch.
The head's the only pretty thing on that whole motor.
What happened to the head?
I said the head's the only pretty thing on that whole motor.
Yeah, they get neglected all the time. Spark plugs come gapped, but
Double check.
yeah, especially nowadays, FedEx shipping and all that stuff, they'll get slammed around and they'll close the gap up. They used to put that little thing in the box. I don't even use it no more. Had the little cardboard over cover. After COVID, we don't do stuff like that no more.
It costs money.
Costs money.
Trying to cut cost.
They're close, but it's just worth your chance
Checking.
to check them. What was it going to say? If you do have one that's not gapped, it's weird. It'll miss at a low RPM, but you can actually drive it and it works perfect. It's kind of a strange scenario.
Makes sense.
I don't know. I had one time I did it. Boy was working with me. Man, we checked everything. And he's like, won't you just check the spark plug? I was like, fine. So I check it, and that's all it was the whole time. Where's my favorite tool? Alright, probably wouldn't use this tool at home, but good.
Good and tight.
Cap relay, it's right here. So, shouldn't take 2 seconds to throw it back on there. Make sure your rotor button's in there. I've seen that.
You remember where the wires go?
Pretty sure. Unless somebody's put a weird... put them in a weird spot, I guess you'd say. There's that.
Screwdriver.
What if it cranks up and still knocks?
Not my problem.
Going home for the night?
I'm going home for the night.
Well, like a whole lot.
I'm actually holding the camera with my left hand because my right hand's tired of holding it. I don't know about these non-stop videos.
Number 1 usually points at the battery. Firing order is always on the intake right there. 1, 5, 3. That's the coil wire. 3. 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4. 15's too young, 36 is too old, 24 is just right. Remember that?
I'm 38 years old, Dex.
Just cancel.
I was gonna say you probably should have went ahead and put your oil filter on before you put all the cap on, but go ahead.
It'll be all right. So now push tubes. Did you get too many?
I got too many of them in case there was some you didn't like. I'd take some carburetor cleaner and at least squirt through them.
3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go show you how to clean. We'll blow through them first. Okay, come over here. If you ain't got a parts washer, you can just do the same with carburetor cleaner or something like that.
And I will say, make sure they do flow through there because I have got them stopped up before.
That was what I was going to do. This one flows too much, but you see how it's peeing out the end of it there?
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure it comes out the end right there.
Yeah, I had one. I primed it up.
Oh, that's it.
What's that?
That one ain't flowing.
That one up here.
Mm-hmm. Go give me another one.
All right. Yeah, and y'all get to walk around everything. Get him 2. How's it going?
The rest of them are good. Now what I do, well, you can use this stuff too while I've got it. Just lay them down there. Lay them on like a rag. Spray brake cleaner. Just try to make sure they're touching each other. Should be good.
If you guys want to get them really clean, take what he's using right there and chuck them up in the drill. Shiny. Real shiny.
I can see that.
They look brand new.
How much are new push rods?
Not a lot.
Okay, so now try to get them semi-dry. Same principle. Roll them across that rag right there. Now,
One thing to look for also, this isn't as prevalent on Jeep, but just look at the ends of them. They should be uniformly shiny. If they have odd markings on them, that means that they've
quit spinning.
Well, they've quit spinning and they've been lack of oil, put it that way.
Now we got some more of our pre-lube. You're supposed to do it on the rockers, but I mean it's a 4.0 and you're gonna pour the oil in the motor. So
Wait, you talking about where they rock?
yeah.
Oh no,
You could if you feel like it, but
it'll get up there.
now it just takes I'll wait till I get up here. Just make sure it feels like it's in the right spot, because it'll get off to the side and it just takes experience. Like that one.
I was like, the back one didn't feel like.
Yep.
I was watching it and it didn't feel like it went in there.
I was playing around with it there. They're just gonna be all at the same angle. That one's low. That one's up.
Yeah.
Okay. There's that. I feel like I've used 7,000 rags in this video. Now, I had to clean them too.
No, I got the right amount of them also. They're all kinds of different colors and flavors.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Like I'm not necessarily doing a hack job on this Jeep, but I'm not just like overly stressing everything.
Right.
But at some point, it's gonna be a nice Jeep, and y'all are gonna look back on this old video and be like,
He just threw this thing together.
it happens from time to time.
I mean, you can look there. I just grabbed them out of a pile that we took apart.
One common thing about these stamped steel ones is, I don't know if they just get tweaked or over torqued or what, but this little trestle, is that what it's called?
I believe so.
Bridge.
Bridge.
They'll get
Crooked.
It ain't nothing. Take a pair of channel locks, pliers, just straighten them back out. Don't freak out. It's not.
Not the end of the world.
No.
Yeah, they'll sometimes, they'll be sitting like way over here. Both of them be sitting like this. Literally all you do is just bend them back straight.
I don't know how they run sometimes, honestly. And I feel like most people know by now these are hydraulic. You just tighten them down. No adjustment. Probably is a torque spec, but
There's a torque spec too.
I think it's
It's like 32 or 30.
I'll say it's a little 27 maybe.
Yeah, maybe less than that. Maybe 27 or something.
So 5/16 bolt. And the way hydraulic lifters work, if you go down through here and notice that it's opening in all the valves, that's just the way hydraulic works. If you'll let it sit, it'll just
close back up.
close back up. So. That was way open. And it is common when you crank it up for them to miss because of that right there. So it just takes a little time. Now what sucks is I would like to put a new valve cover gasket, but I don't want to do that in this video. Valve cover gasket.
I'll say you can do that at a later date. It doesn't take very long.
Nah. Make sure everything's good. Got another head gasket. Hey, I gotta use it. How about that?
How about that?
How about that? It's blue, so it'll look better. Like I said, if you're doing a more particular job, buy your valve cover gasket, change the grommets and all that. What did it even end up? Oh, it's dirty. Shoot.
Was it that dirty?
Well, it's kinda. Let me clean this up. We'll be right back.
What'd you find?
Dirty valve cover. Cherokee should stay on. WJ, a little bit different.
I'm gonna swap sides. We've been on this side for way too long now.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Every bit of like 15 minutes probably.
Stud starts about here and goes down this side. Usually there's two extras. I usually do about one right there, right there. One of the grommets fell out. You know. I'll put it in later. Cherokee got a stud on the very back for the wire harness. So get all these started. Make sure, I think it's right here. Gotta have a regular bolt.
Yeah, on the front. You gotta have regulars.
They rub a hose at some point. These you can.
Anybody's wondering, it's 807. Still going.
We're trying. If we hadn't had a little upset, it really sucks because we was on a roll. I ain't gonna count my time up yet, but combined time.
Combined time, I think you're at, I would estimate 2 and maybe a half hours.
Yesterday was
Yesterday was an hour, and then we started at. What time did we start? We had to go back and watch the video.
Yeah, we'll figure it. Like, I'll add it up. I'll probably put it in, but I feel like we're at about 2.5 hours now.
You've essentially tore a motor completely down in the frame with some unnecessary screw ups.
Yeah. That sucks, but it could be worse. We still ain't crunked up yet. These probably have a torque spec, especially the newer model Cherokee or the older model Cherokee with aluminum valve covers. Do not use the torque specs. The way they're designed, you'll torque them down, crank it up to factory specs or whatever, and by the time you crank it and run it and get it hot, you can loosen the bolts back out with your fingers. So I've learned that.
Let's get them snug.
Yeah, they won't. I mean, relatively, there ain't no way to over torque them in a sense. there somewhere. I'm missing one bolt, but it's gonna be alright. Well, probably about to put a valve cover one day. So I'm trying to think. Ready for wiring harness?
Wiring harness and or your power steering. Probably throw that on there.
Power steering. Some of the stuff really technically don't matter. It's just I'm gonna dab these in anti-seize because they are pretty prone to.
How long you been using that anti-seize there?
I wouldn't say since I've been in business, but very close.
I actually seen a post somebody had the other day. They had one from the 1970s or something. They've been using the same one.
I've got an old one that's probably from the 70s. I think it's on the other box over there. Tighten it down. Your thermostat. Wrong bolt. I'm gonna do a video on thermostat choice. Seems to be a hot topic. You ever notice there's like trendy things with Cherokees that people just seem to turn into a hot topic for no reason?
Yeah, there for the longest it was the three fan.
Lifters.
Next week it'll be hood.
Fuel injectors. I ain't figured that one out yet. I don't know why people are swapping fuel injectors, but y'all are here. If you're watching, I'll tell you. Don't buy new fuel injectors. They suck. They're made in China. They're garbage. That's what. Ask any tuner that tunes vehicles. Tell you the same thing. Let me get the thermostat on there before we get.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where's it at? Oh, they're not gonna like the way I clean it. It's not.
How you gonna clean it? Just put some more Permatex on it.
No, I mean it's not really necessarily bad, but it's not the right fluid.
If it makes y'all feel any better, those are probably like what, $4 on Rock Auto.
Yeah, they're not bad. And that's one thing I see all the time is it leaking around here. And what it is people like that have done that several times. Or it burns. You get crustation in there. The bolts actually can't go far enough to actually clamp down. So
Yeah.
same thing. I'll put a little anti-seize on there. But simple trick is you just put like a lock washer or just a flat washer just to give the bolt some more pull. So that's the thermostat. Unbelievable how many gaskets I go through.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even going to tell you what temperature I'm running, so when I do the video, you'll come back and figure out what temperature he prefers and uses.
I know which one it is.
This one's a little sticky. One trick here. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and do it. It's real common to stick the thermostat in a hole, and then it falls down, and you can't get it crimped or whatever. So it's not the fact that I'm gluing in there. I'm just trying to get it to stay. So just put a little thermistor Permatex right there. Now stay. That. I usually put Permatex on there, but we're trying to hear it run tonight, so Justin's out past his bedtime.
I would put a little Permatex on there because I tried that one time with on the engine stand. They leak.
Okay. Put it right around this area is usually the
Yeah.
area that leaks.
Because I was curious myself. I was like, I want to just see, because it doesn't tell you to put it on there.
No.
And I was like, I want to see if it'll seal off, and it didn't. It leaked.
There just ain't no pressure over there.
No. So that's what I always say. General rule is paper gaskets, use a little bit of Permatex on it. Rubber gaskets, no.
Yeah. Rubber gaskets have more cushion. So be careful. Make sure your thermostat does not fall when you're doing this. I try to start the bolts. When I know they're started, I'll be like, boom, and then hold it, and then, oh crap.
There's a gap on the bottom.
Oh, that one.
Your bolt got crooked.
It's all the way in, ain't it?
Your bolt's crooked on the bottom.
What are you trying to say? Like it's going to go or it ain't going to go?
It's It doesn't look like it's all the way in.
The bolt is it fell down. Bolt was like rose up on the.
Yeah.
And if you use a Permatex, you can watch it and make sure it's actually squishing out of there, I guess is the word you'd say.
It's not going anywhere.
So now we're on that. Let's go ahead and finish off, and I'm actually going to tighten this clamp this time. This little bracket, for some reason, if you ever get it off, that ain't good. That's why they did it. They didn't tighten that enough, and they're trying to.
Yep. So water pump's going to have to come back off.
Probably. We'll see what it does for now. Might put some of that wicking stuff.
Wicked stuff?
Wicking.
Wicking.
That one needs a shot of slick 'em. I'm learning. When you're putting something back together, it's like really huge. When you screwing a clamp down, it'll get to a spot where you think's tight. What it is, it's rusted up because it's sitting right there. So sometimes you can kind of use like PB and actually break through that little rough spot.
Yep.
Go and put the upper on, leave this one off. That's your bleeding process. This one's feeling pretty dry too. That right there's a hard spot. If you'll break through, it'll get just a little tighter. Let's get the belt on. Tell Hack Job did something. They left a bolt out of the water pump.
Wait, you did that or somebody else did that?
The box is in the back. That's on. Now let's grab our 15 mil somewhere. This setup like this seems to get way tighter than you would expect.
It's touching. I think you missed something.
Right here. Now we're on.
Yep.
All you're saying is touching now.
It was. It's not anymore.
I don't know what. We'll see if it squeals. Now we need a 15 ratchet wrench. Tighten up our idler pulley.
You're on the last bar of battery on here, so you're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit.
Did I zip tie that? I zip tied that. Wire harness, air box, and the exhaust. We'll give you a break when we do the exhaust. This is that part I was talking about. If you go over the top of the fuel rail, I don't think nothing's going to happen. It's just the way the wire harness is formed. It likes to be back underneath there. Now, usually the 15364, the orientation, just where they look like they go is usually where they go.
They've been sitting there a long time.
If you're having to force it to go somewhere else, it's probably not the right one. See, I didn't even move any of those.
Yeah.
That's that. Don't forget your crank sensor plug. Where'd it go?
Crank sensor and,
Just bring these around. Map sensor, idler. Oh, I changed intakes. I was gonna say that wasn't right. So now there's that. Fuel supposed to bolt there.
Hey, Ellie. What's it taste like?
You don't like the fresh air? So now we can relieve this. Hook it. Brake booster goes into the smaller one right there, and then that one goes under. That one goes under. Getting ahead of myself. This intake may I think the other one had a rubber blocker right there, didn't it?
Probably.
So this thing right here is what goes in the bigger hole, but this goes under it right there. It'll stick with a piece that's missing. So plug that up. Throttle cable goes in the first one.
Plop it in.
Plop it in. Now my kick down cable jumped over. Let's see, probably needs to go. The routing for the kick down always seems to get messed up for some reason. I don't know why. Kickdown goes in the big one. You do need it. Now, cruise control jumped around on me. Where did it go? There it is. He forgot one. Well, I got it for him. Well, then, I wasn't doing it because you had to pull this through.
Oh, yep.
That goes to the O2, which is probably going to be bad. Figure that out. That's going to go across here, down in front of the motor mount. Go back there. So that's that. That's that. That's that hose. Did get the cruise control up. What's left? That's how we bleed it. This will get rerun like right across here, but
We don't need it at the moment.
I'm gonna raise it up, tighten the exhaust. I'm pretty sure you understand what's going on. Airbox, top it off with fluids, fire it up. Who unplugged this?
Who unplugged what?
I did it when I was rerouting the heater hoses over here.
Oh,
8:19, so we'll figure the time up somewhere in the video.
be right back.
All right, Justin's pouring oil in, and what I was saying, well, let me just show you. You get bored, the sink's running over with another jug. Working on it. See how it won't go anywhere? Now watch right there. Look at there, it just takes it all the way. Nice and easy. So leave that right there until you see fluid come out of it. Oh well, I'll show you. Cameraman should be back at work here in a second. I'm actually working. Hey, there's my 10mm. What are the odds? Oh, forgot a hose. You're good. Keep going. This Jeep's still going to need tinkering. I'm just trying to get it to run. And then it's got to be getting close. That's what I'm trying to flush this out because this thing has a terribly nasty cooling system, if you can believe that. So, got enough of that. Gonna do that. Cameraman's back at work. We're full of water. It's got oil in it, right?
It's got oil in it.
Got oil in it, wire.
No battery. Razor blade.
Make sure we didn't forget anything else. I think I'll.
Dipstick. What's a dipstick doing way over there?
You can just bend it. The hack job mechanic before us. That's good. I feel like those should have went over, but I don't know.
They'll be fine.
They've got it all screwed up.
Transmission's way up here.
Be sure don't forget this. I see them a lot rub on the head stud back there.
There wasn't a ground back there, was it? You need to connect.
I can do that later. I forgot. Don't forget this right there. It goes on the back head stud. I still got to do a valve cover bolt. So I need a battery. I don't know if this battery's in. It's brand new, but I don't know if it's any good.
What are you saying?
Pretty much know what I'm trying to say. Keys up. Let's go ahead and. I got a power supply. It's not a battery charger, it's a power supply. And a battery. So it's better than nothing. It may fire right up, and it may have to bleed the lifters. I feel like as crappy as this oil is, it's going to have to bleed the lifters.
It's going to have to bleed the lifters, probably.
Come on, drink it, Dr. I'll walk around with a $9 Monster Energy drink. 8:30.
8:30. We're going to try to start it. He ain't going to wait. He's just going to go.
Oh, that's going to be very dramatic because those lifters are going to have to bleed.
Yeah. What was that?
It's backfiring because the lifter's stuck open. Oh, I don't think I got enough battery to spin the thing over tonight. Crap.
Get your jump starter thing.
I'm afraid it ain't going to have enough juice to spin it that long. We'll try. We'll make it over dramatic and everything.
That battery is that bad?
Yeah, it's brand new.
It's brand new.
It's never even been essentially used. I backed the turbo Jeep over there.
Wow.
And just here and there. That's shop's on 12.5.
I'm assuming those was tight, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're brand new.
No.
If we can just get a fire, it'll catch up and go.
Something don't sound right.
I had to beat on the starter before I started the video. That's why I carried it over here with the SkyTrack, because I thought the starter was out, and then I redid the connectors. I just didn't want to put a starter on it.
He was under there and
Rebuilt the entire motor.
rebuilt the entire motor. He could have put a starter on it.
Justin warned me about the thermostat gasket.
Is it already leaking?
Yeah, dadgummit.
Tried.
Why was the header leaking so bad?
I don't know.
Did you hear it? Or was that a leak down there?
I don't know.
Alright, it's gonna leak. I just want to hear it run. So, what happened now? Why did it dead?
I don't know. It's leaking bad. It ain't running
Down the hose?
Yeah.
No, I think it's squaring out the bottom. We're just gonna wing it. I don't know why the exhaust is leaking so bad right there. It's not like I can see it coming out of the... Oh, it's a cheap header. That's probably why.
Cheap header?
It's a cheap header. That's probably... That's what your green Jeep used to do. When it cranked up and missed,
Yeah.
and when it swell up, it go away. If the lifters will clean up,
It's smoothing out.
no rattle.
Oh, it don't need that. It'll clean up here in a minute.
It'll take a second. This stuff just helps clean the lifters out.
That's actually really quiet. May be exaggerated on camera, but it's really quiet.
I do good work. I'm just
I hear a vacuum leak. Oh, right here. Maybe half of those. Come.
got one or two lifters that ain't participating.
I go ahead and tell you, it smells like there's a mouse nest in the exhaust.
That's what I said.
That may be why it's so quiet. Oh, we gotta open this door.
Probably why it's sitting out up here.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that sounds completely stopped up back there.
I think it's completely stopped up.
Yeah, it's very quiet and it sounds completely stopped up. And it's spitting moisture out everywhere. They're probably completely full.
Well, I said it from the get-go, this thing's blowed a head gasket twice now that we know about, cracked head, and that coolant gets into the catalytic converter, and that's the only thing I know that stops up a catalytic converter, so...
Yeah, it's evacuating that.
It's moving air, but it's just gotta be water in the catalytic converter, I would think. Got oil pressure?
I asked that a while ago.
Yeah, it's good. Almost there. Moral of the story, remember at the first of the video? It ain't.
Yeah, it'll clean up here in a minute from this vibration we got going on. That's just the lifter stuff.
Oh, let's try it. Listen.
It won't stay.
So close. It's like the mints will get worse and then get better.
Yeah, usually heat is what usually gets them to
Clean the lift, the lifters don't make a noise. The only time you will hear a lifter make a noise is if you get one that hasn't had the oil change like this, and you change the oil, and usually they'll tap on the startup for just like 10 seconds, and they'll get oil to feed them back, and that's usually the only time a lifter will actually make a noise.
Look at that.
Okay.
It hasn't even built up any heat yet. It's bellowing out of here.
Yeah, that's gotta be stuck in a catalytic converter for sure. Where else is it coming from?
Yeah, I mean, if it was water, it would smell like water, and that smells like death.
Nasty. The time for you to go home, Dustin?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna sit here and let it run in the morning. I'm gonna flush.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I'm gonna flush the coolant out, but
Don't run that head hot.
yeah, it's full. But yeah, I'm gonna let it run. I might fix the camera back up, but I gotta show you how to get the control arms back in. I'm gonna finish this thing up. Like the door don't even shut. It don't even have a latch, so I can't drive it. I'm gonna get that stuff knocked out. But moral of the story, it runs great. Well, it's gonna run great. No rattling noise. Like you, I think it just stopped up. You know?
It's definitely stopped up, and the lifters need time to settle in.
Okay, I'm gonna let old man go home. I'll finish this thing up in the morning. I'll pick you up about lunch 30 or so. It's probably hard to believe, but I swear these lowers are easy to do on the ground. The way the track bar pulls them sideways, but I went ahead and loosened the bolt just to make it easier to see, but you can see won't come back. So well, we got regular old ratchet strap. Let's see, we'll hook it around, go back to the cross member, and flip it over. You can almost just like put it on the ground and then just kind of pull forward or back and get them in there. Now you can see, start cinching it back. Hope this ratchet strap's got enough. Y'all's side will line up before my side will because of the track bar. Yep. So that's lined up. Find my bolt. Well, y'all can't see the other side is not lined up. It's just the way it is. But if it was on the ground, it'd be straighter. But go ahead and see how it hits the other side. Let's see. Maybe it's got enough oomph. Maybe. Yep. All right. Now we can put a nut on it, sit it on the ground, and tighten those bushings up on the ground when it's like level. Other side, same principle. Just well, now it's too far this way. What the heck? It was lined up before I started the video. Should have put it in there first. Yep. Wasn't trying to make the video any longer, but you remember last night it was leaking right here. If you can see, all I did was put 2 split washers, and pretty sure that fixed the leak. I mean, it's not leaking. I actually got it at like, I don't know what that gauge is. Hard to read, about 15 pounds, give or take. Let's see. Radiator in this area, you can see all that's leaking, and then I kept seeing it squirt over here. If you look really careful, got the light in the right spot. Let me change the light. That's a stream of water. It's spraying plumb over there. So I gotta change the radiator. Well, hold on. If you've watched this long, you're probably fully committed. I've been struggling to figure out why it won't run. And I checked this, I checked that, I checked compression, I've changed plugs. So let's see. This is it running. Needs battery. So this is it. Nope, all the injectors are in there. Okay, so this is it running. This kind of runs crappy. Pull the fuel pump relay. You won't get perfect. But you can tell what's going on. I had the injectors unplugged, just running on starting fluid. Run good as it could be. So I got to change radiator, fuel injectors, and we'll go from there. And I gotta flush the cooling system. It's nasty. Alright, got a used radiator and some used injectors that I hope are good. And I had to bypass the neutral safety switch. That's what was keeping it from a key though. Let's see. Come on, G. Light it is fire injector. Got the pressure. Alright, I'll let you know when I figure it out. Let it high, don't try to get the oil up to some temperature. Seems like it tried to pick up. I don't know, I'm just gonna keep letting it run. Not shaking as bad, but it's hard to tell at 2 grand, so maybe I hope that's what it is. It's not all it could be. Mine should have to be the one, like I do this all the time. It's the one I'm trying to make like a good video. It's the one that does this different kind. I try to not be a professional mechanic anymore and be a hacker. I feel like it's got better. I really feel like it's different. Justin's at his shop right now wondering, he's like, I bet that's that motor we built last night. It's so close. I wonder now if it's O2 sensor, because I know it's got to be stopped up. Let me check the codes. Voila, more rev limiter's got her cleaned up. I knew it's exactly what it was because you see that crappy oil. It's a hydraulic lifter. I feel like everybody knows the push rod goes down inside of the push tube. And it's basically what they call a slack adjuster. There's a little piston inside of there. And well, when I was tightening all those rockers down, remember I said they was sticking open? I said this has to seat down. For how many 200,000 miles, they found a home where they're at, okay? So now you pull the head off, you deck the head, change up this different head gasket and all this stuff. So when the head goes down, the rocker arm goes this way. So now when you've lowered it, you push the valve spring open. So now this lifter that's been happy in its little home for 200,000 miles with all this little caked up oil crap is holding the valve open. So again, no noise from the lifters there, but that's why I think it was had compression at when you spin it over, because there's no oil pressure. When it's got oil pressure, it pumped it up, held the valve open. I see it all the time. This one was just being very stubborn. So if you ever do a job like this and it misses, there's a way you can take the valve cover back off, And literally you can loosen the rocker arm up, it'll start running. You can take your finger and sit here and spin the socket as it goes down, and it'll pump this goo out. Or I've seen people like put them in an arbor press, pump the goo out. Still ain't 100%. Only code I had was the throttle position, but it was working, so I don't know what that was. We get all this situated, and we'll carry it down the road and check out the tools. Pretty sure the radiator put out leaking. Maybe not. I didn't try to look. Alright, let's go down the road. It's starting to like pitter-patter miss again. All in all, it sounds quiet. We got to keep that in mind. If you know me, I just don't lie. It just doesn't work out. I swear, I was coming down the hill, if you're familiar with my place. When I come around that curve right there, it run out of gas. I was like, this Jeep is freaking, oh. But it did crank back up. It revved up good. I floored it down the hill. And then I let off and it died. I was like, oh, okay, it just died. But no, I guess it's out of gas. So we're gonna put gas in it, get a gas cap. I don't have a hand to click the button to stop recording. You probably didn't hear your neighbor banging a rev limiter, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear anything.
That's what fixed it.
That's what fixed it?
Rev limiters. Let's see if Justin will ride with me, hold the camera, go down the road. It was running great, and then I pulled up in his driveway and put it in park, and it wouldn't run great now, but at least I know what it is now. Like right now, it's trying. Hear the in and out. Yeah. Here you go, camera holder. It's trying, it just...
Oh, it's close.
Oh.
Why does it smell like heat in here? Like,
I don't know.
Like propane heat.
This Jeep and Mark gonna have to fight over cam bearings.
What you got going on there?
Well, the door still don't shut.
I thought that was your seatbelt.
No, I better wear it too. I don't want the bungee to go. I wish I could roll the window up, but my bungee cord. I got so frustrated. I changed injectors. I didn't change nothing. I checked compression and it's good. And then you put it back in and the back three wouldn't fire. That's the first time I drove it. I ain't drove down the road.
Huh.
But I kept on. I was like, the only thing it can be. Man, I love AW4 as long as they work. But I kept on. I poured some more seafoam in it. And I was like, let me try a rev limiter. And I did it. I let it high idle forever, but
I think it's just got to go through a few heat cycles before them lifters look like they probably just didn't want to move.
the whole oil system looked like it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Got a nice driving Cherokee. Once again, back on the road. Let's see. It runs good. Oh, that's that little stop.
It just needs some drive time on it.
Yeah, a little shaky tire. I can roll my windows up. The hood, I was trying to do it if y'all seen the video. I went to shut the hood, that latch over there would latch and then spring back up, latch. So I set the camera up and it worked just fine then. So I think it's a bad tire.
Well, that's definitely a bad tire. The hopping noise.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the motor or...
Now the motor's missing. It's just gonna take some heat cycles with the oil and all that stuff. So like I said, if you do it and you're having similar and you checked everything else,
Just drive it.
like right now, let's see, I bet it's missing. Just one. Man, this thing ain't gonna have no oil pressure. Either Mark or this Jeep is gonna be the ones that Dex is the first person ever to change cam bearings with the motor installed. Well, no, this one's getting full drive swap, so it would make sense. All right, well, it runs good. I'll pick y'all back up at the shop. We'll go over tools, and y'all are free to go.
What about me?
You gotta go back to your job. All right, before I shut it off, you can see, watch the leaves. They're barely moving, so it's idling perfect. Need the door fixed. And then I'm not gonna pop the hood, but you can hear it's whisper quiet. I always like the saying, like when I was selling a used motor, a guy like my way of saying, I said the injectors was the loudest part of the motor. I feel like that's a pretty good saying right there. So we'll get in the shop, check tools out. I'll say a bunch of stuff you probably don't even care about. Oh, you dropped your ball. Oh my gosh, my floors. That was all in the coolant system there, so good thing to flush them out. Alright, so I won't be too specific. Pry bars, that was the bead on the starter, so you don't need that. Spin the motor over. I don't remember what the 18 was for. 3/4 spin the motor. 21. Oh, crap. I never tightened those control arms. That ain't good. Anyway, I'm back safe. So 21 for the lower control arms. I mean, just common sockets. The only thing is if you're using a 1/2 inch impact, half 12-point socket, if my camera would focus, and then you want you a short one for that back head bolt. So that's pretty basic stuff there. Tools, I mean, common stuff. Screwdrivers, just common wrenches. That, I mean, maybe a 1/4 wiggle to get the back valve cover bolt. Spark plug socket. So I feel like I've got it covered. This is pretty much my first video of that format, other than like the Grand Wagoneer, whatever thing was, my Wagoneer. So if you like that kind of stuff, let me know. I'll see if the views follow along with whatever. But it is a little more trouble this way instead of doing them all by myself. But I need to do some tutorials like this. I can, Justin don't mind helping him, so thank him for that. And yeah, I'm gonna get this floor cleaned back up. And then, well, I'll just show y'all. I always like it when you're watching like one YouTube. I always like it when you're watching a channel and you're seeing one project, but in the background's another project that you knew was going on, but you didn't know the outcome. So I'll just show you. If you made it this far, I'll give you something. Dana 44A pumpkins over there. I cut it. I've cut the tubes off, if you can see them. I've got 8 1/4. And I've actually slid the tubes inside of there. It's kind of wild, but I'll explain that in the video more. But yeah, there you go. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up. If you have any ideas, I do a lot of videos off comments, so if you have anything, you know what to do. Oh yeah, have a good day.